I was running out of breath. The intruder's grip tightened on my neck. I gasped in pain, struggling against the person, but the more I fought, the more the shadow attacked, tightening his grip on my neck. "Ova!" Michael shouted. Without any hesitation, he grabbed the night lamp that was placed beside the bed and threw it straight at my attacker. The crash echoed as the lamp struck the attacker's back. A sharp grunt followed. The mask covering the stranger's face slipped away and hit the ground. My eyes widened. My breath froze. "Molly," I whispered, choking on the name. She let out a wicked smile, her eyes filled with anger and intent to kill. Her teeth was clenched tightly with so much hatred. "You," I hissed, my voice trembling with both anger and disbelief. Her hand shoved Michael with so much force that he flew against the wall. His small body hit with a loud thud, and his cry split the silence. My heart broke, but rage filled me faster than fear. "Don't you dare touch him," I screamed. I threw myself at her. My fists struck, my claws scraped. Every blow carried the desperation of a mother protecting her child. I fought like my life depended on it, because it did. But Molly was not the same girl I once knew. Her strength was sharp, her movements deadly. She shoved me back, sending me crashing against the bed frame. Pain shot up my arm, but I rose again. I couldn't stop. She smirked, and then her hand reached for her side. In the dim light, I saw the glint of silver. My blood ran cold. She pulled out a gun, a silver gun. My heart hammered, my legs froze. I stared down the barrel, knowing that a single pull of her finger would end everything. Her smile widened, cruel and triumphant. "This is the end, Ava." But before she could fire, the room exploded with a deafening sound. Bang! The silver gun slipped from her hand, clattering against the floor. Her body jerked violently. Blood spilled from her chest as her knees buckled. Behind her, Damien stood. His hand gripped a gun, his eyes burning with fury and fire. Molly gasped, her lips trembling. She stumbled forward, blood dripping down her mouth, but her voice refused to break. "You," she whispered, her eyes fixed on Damien. "You had some nerves, coming back." Damien's voice was deep and threatening. I could tell how angry he was. She coughed, choking, but forced her words through the pain. "My only regret is that I didn't kill you, or Ava first." Her gaze shifted to me. Hate danced in her dying stare. "You don't even know." She spat blood. "Damien, you destroyed my home. You killed my family. You wiped out everyone I ever loved. Do you think I would sit quietly? No, I came back to take what you took from me. You took my family, so I came to kill yours." Her voice cracked, her laughter wild and broken. "But you fool, you think you've won because the enemy pack is gone? No, Damien, no." Her body trembled, but her voice rose louder, like a dying wolf's final cry. "Your greatest enemy is not out there. Your greatest enemy is the one you keep closest to you." She then laughed again, but this time blood gushed out of her mouth. She coughed softly as she collapsed on the floor. Her laughs faded slowly till it went completely silent. The room was still. Silent. The only thing I could hear was the sound of my heart pounding. Alpha Damien stood quietly as his men rushed in to discard Molly's lifeless body. And just like that, it was just the three of us left. Damien dropped the gun. The sound echoed through the room, and then he turned towards me sharply. His eyes filled with concern and worry. I saw fear in his eyes. Was it fear of losing me? I couldn't tell. He rushed towards me, grabbed my arm firmly, but also gently, like he was scared of hurting me. His eyes scanned through my body. "Are you hurt?" he asked, his voice unsteady. I froze. My heart raced faster than ever. For a second, I almost forgot everything I had been through because of him. I wasn't just seeing Alpha Damien. I saw a wolf who cared for me. My lips trembled, but I shook my head. "I'm fine." I brushed his hands away and stepped back, my walls rising quickly. My voice came out sharper than I meant. "Don't touch me." I turned, my eyes searching desperately for Michael. Then I saw sighting on the floor. His hands were pressed against his forehead, but then I saw the blood that rolled out. My eyes widened, my heart dropped. I rushed to him quickly. "Michael, are you okay? Talk to me." My hands were shaking as I checked out his wounds. He forced out a reassuring smile, pretending not to be in much pain. "I'm fine, Ava. Don't cry. I'm fine." Tears threatened to fall. I hate it when kids try to act like adult, hiding their pains. It broke my heart to watch him that way. Behind me, Damien's voice cut through the silence. "Doctor, now." His tone was a command that brooked no delay. "No." I snapped, turning quickly. Don't call your physician. I don't want people thinking I'm special to you. The words burned on my tongue, but they were true. I couldn't give anyone reason to talk. I turned back to Michael, cleaning his wound with trembling hands. But Damien did not move. He stepped closer, his shadow falling over me. You are special to me, he said softly. My hands froze. My breath stopped. Slowly, I turned to him. His eyes burned into mine, steady, unflinching. And the people you love, they are important to me as well. My heart leapt, my chest filled with a warmth I couldn't explain. But I forced a smile, broken and weak. That's not funny, I whispered. He reached down, his hand gripping my arm gently but firmly. He pulled me to face him. His eyes darkened. Does this look like a joke to you? I stared into his eyes. He looked so serious. My heart pounded. I tried to laugh it off, but I couldn't. Why are you doing this? I asked, my voice cracking. It's not as if you're starting to like me, right? Though it sounded like I was teasing him, I desperately hoped he would say yes. For a moment, his face softened, but then his expression fell. His voice came low, steady, heavy. You are my responsibility, Ava. From the moment I brought you to my pack, you became mine to protect. It is my duty. You and the boy, you will always be under my protection. The words pierced me. My chest sank. My smile vanished. I turned back to Michael, hiding my face, hiding my pain. My voice was quiet, almost a whisper. I can protect myself and the people I love. You don't have to worry. But then, his hand touched mine. Gently, carefully. Ava, he said, his voice soft in a way I had never heard before. I hurt you. I know that. Every time I pushed you away, every time I acted cold, I told myself it was the only way to protect you, to keep the enemy's eyes off you. But that doesn't change the truth. He paused, his voice trembling. I hurt you and I am sorry. My eyes lifted slowly to his. The Alpha, Damien, the man who never bent, never bowed, never apologized, was apologizing. My heart melted. His eyes searched mine, burning with sincerity. Please, Ava, forgive me. Tears burned my eyes. My chest tightened. The walls I built so carefully began to crack. I wanted to hate him. I wanted to turn away, but my heart refused. He extended his hand slowly, his eyes never leaving mine. Can we start over? As friends? My lips trembled. My chest rose and fell quickly, and then a small smile broke through my tears. I reached out, my fingers brushing his, and finally placed my hand in his. Yes, I whispered softly. For the first time in a long time, the weight in my chest lifted. The sun rays shined through the window, warming the edge of my face. I blinked and stretched on the bed. It's been so long since I woke up without fear or pain. I slept peacefully today, though my body felt heavy, but in a good way. I sat up on the bed slowly, grabbed the jug of water. My throat was dry and itchy. I had barely drank enough when I heard some voices down the hallway. Did you hear? One maid said to another. Yes, another answered quickly. Yet the Alpha almost lost his life, but he protected her instead. If he treasures her like this, then we must start treating her differently. She might become someone of power soon. I froze, the cup in my hand trembling. The other maid giggled softly. I never imagined it. Ava, of all people, of all people. Their words hit me hard because, deep down in my heart, I knew most of the things they said were true in a way. I caressed my stomach softly and then took in a deep breath. My cub, my secret, my reason for surviving. I guess, I whispered to my unborn child, we will finally have a moment of peace. I forced a small smile, but before it could settle on my lips, I stepped into the corridor and bumped into two maids. They bowed to me respectfully, lowering their heads as if I were someone above them. My heart clenched. I hated it. I was not like them. I was one of them, a woman with scars, pain, and mistakes. Please don't do that, I said quickly, almost pleading. I'm no different from you. Treat me the same way you always have. They just smiled nervously and moved politely because walking past me. The moment was awkward. My chest felt heavy. Everyone seemed like a stranger again, creating new boundaries. Then suddenly, a crash. It came from my bedroom. My heart skipped. Without thinking, I ran back, my feet pounding against the wooden floor. The door flung open, and the sight made me freeze. Michael was pulling at something in the maid's hands, both of them struggling. Plates clattered to the ground, food spilling everywhere. The maid stepped back as soon as she saw me, bowing deeply. I'm sorry, my lady, she stuttered. I looked at Michael, his small chest heaving with anger. his fists clenched tightly around the remains of what looked like food he had prepared. "She refused to let me give this to you," he said, his eyes bright with stubbornness. "She said you should eat something else instead. But why? They never cared what we ate before. Why now?" My heart melted and broke all at once. His voice carried the pain of someone who had lived too long in shadows, someone who never expected the world to notice him. I knelt, brushing his hair gently. His soft locks fell against my fingers. "It's all right," I whispered, smiling at him. "I'll eat what you prepared." The maid gasped. "But—" I raised my hand, stopping her. My voice came out calm but firm. "No, I will eat Michael's food." The maid bowed stiffly, her lips pressed together. She left quickly, but as she stepped out, I heard her low murmur to another maid in the hall. "I really dislike her. Just weeks ago she was treated less than a tramp, and now she thinks she's someone special because the Alpha treasures her." Another voice hushed her. "Be quiet before you get into trouble." I pretended not to hear, but my heart heard every word. I turned back to Michael and smiled as I took the meal he made. The taste filled my mouth, warm and simple, but to me it was sweeter than any feast. "This is delicious," I told him sincerely. For a moment pride lit his face, but then it faded. His brows drew together in a frown. "Why did you forgive him so easily?" His voice was sharp. "After everything he did to you, after all the pain, how could you just smile and say you'll be his friend? You shouldn't have." "Now he won't feel guilty anymore." My hand stilled on the spoon, my chest tightened. I forced a small smile, though it trembled at the corners. "I'm just glad he doesn't hate me," I whispered. "You wouldn't understand, Michael. This is love." The word slipped out before I could stop it. Heat rushed to my cheeks. I looked down quickly, embarrassed. Michael's eyes widened in irritation. He shook his head, his little lips pressing tightly together. "Then I don't ever want to fall in love," he muttered. "Not if it makes people suffer the way you do." I laughed, grabbing his cheeks softly. His cute baby look only amused me more. I smiled and then tapped the tip of his nose. "You will one day. Love always finds us, no matter how hard we run." He scowled, crossing his arms, but then his eyes gleamed with mischief. "Were you not crying because of Damien? Don't think I didn't see." My face burned. "Michael," I gasped, reaching out to cover his mouth. He ran back with a teasing laugh, and I chased after him. We ended up chasing ourselves with pillow across the room. At this moment, my heart felt lighter. I had almost forgotten everything, but then, suddenly, I felt his presence. I turned. Damien stood by the door. His arms were crossed, and his lips were curled into a tiny smile. He seemed to be enjoying the view front of him. I quickly straightened, adjusting my dress, heat crawling across my cheeks. Damien stepped forward, holding 2 small boxes in his hands. "These are for you," he said. Michael frowned immediately, crossing his arms tighter. "I don't want it." I pinched him lightly, whispering, "Don't be rude." Then I smiled at Damien and took the box on his behalf. "Thank you. I'm sorry for his behavior." But Damien only shook his head, his voice low. "No, I should be the one to apologize. I know the pain I caused you. I know the scars I left behind." At this moment, I wanted nothing but to tell him the whole truth, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I just bowed my head politely. "If it weren't for your protection, I don't know what would have happened to me and my unborn baby, so I will always be grateful for that. But—" My throat tightened. The words burned as they came out. "Now that you are safe and sound, Molly is dead, and you have defeated your enemies, I no longer have any reason to stay." The silence that followed was sharp. Michael's head lifted, his eyes wide with sudden joy. "We're leaving?" he asked quickly, almost smiling. Damien froze, his body stiffened, his eyes locked on me as though I had just stolen the ground beneath his feet. I forced a small smile, though my heart was breaking. "The truth is, I stayed because I thought your life was in danger. You saved me once. I owed you that debt. But now, I have nothing more to repay, so I will leave." I bowed again and reached for Michael's hand. Together, we turned toward the door. But before I could take a step past him, Damien's hand shot out. His fingers closed around my wrist, firm but trembling. He pulled me close, too close. I could feel his chest rise and fall. My hands were stuck on his chest. I could feel his heartbeat. His scent was seductive, but most importantly familiar. It was exactly as I remembered it. My heart raced like it was ready to fall out of my chest. I froze, couldn't to move. His face was too close to mine. No matter how much I tried to ignore it, the only thing I could see was the movement of his lips. And then I looked into his eyes. There had no emotions in them. I couldn't read his mind. My body trembled, my cheeks flushed. Every wall I had built began to crumble. I loved him. I had no doubt left in me. I loved Alpha Damien. And standing there, trapped in his arms, I finally admitted it. Not out loud, but in the silence of my heart. I pulled myself away from Damien quickly. My face was burning. I could not even look at him. My hands shook as I fixed my dress. I wanted to run, but his hand came again. This time his touch was not strong. His fingers were soft and careful as they held mine. "Ava," he said in a low voice. His tone was different, almost pleading. "All this time you have seen me only as Alpha Damien, the Alpha who must protect his people, the Alpha who gives orders and carries heavy duties." His eyes were locked on mine. My chest rose and fell fast. "But I want you to see me in another way," he continued. "Not as the Alpha, but as Damien, just Damien, a man who has made mistakes, a man who wants to make things right, a man who wishes for one more chance." My heart pounded. I couldn't find the right words at that moment. I just stared at him, frozen. He raised his finger gently and pressed it against my lips. "Please, don't say no," he whispered. The look in his eyes was driving me crazy. His eyes were begging. His voice shook a little. "Not this time, Ava. Don't push me away. Just give me a chance. I want to show you who I really am." I felt like fire coursing through my skin. I couldn't speak, my heart just pleading for this to be true. My inner wolf jumped in excitement. Finally, I gave a small smile and whispered, "Okay." Relief filled his face. For a moment, I did not see Alpha Damien. I only saw a man. A man who looked at me like I was the only light in his dark world. The sun was still high when someone knocked on my door. Michael ran to open it before I could move. A maid stood outside with a bow. She handed me a package. "This is from the Alpha," she said. I turned to Michael, looking completely clueless. I took the package and then shut the door. "What's that?" he asked. I placed the box on my bed and untied it rapidly, but then I paused before opening it. My eyes met Michael's. He looked just as impatient. I signed deeply as then pulled it open. I froze at what I saw. Inside was a dress. The most beautiful dress I had ever seen. The fabric glowed under the light. It was smooth, soft, and shining like liquid silver. Michael crossed his arms. His face was tight with anger. He turned his head away. "I don't like it," he said. "Why not?" I asked softly. "Because he thinks he can just give you something and all will be fine. He hurt you, and now he acts like it doesn't matter. And you are letting him." His little voice was sharp. His words cut me deeply because they carried truth. I sat beside him on the bed. I smiled and pinched his cheek softly. "Michael, how are you so wise for your age? Sometimes you sound like a father." His face softened, but his frown stayed. I hugged him, pulling him close. "Everyone makes mistakes, Michael. Even the Alpha." He did not speak against Molly too soon because he had to protect his people. If he had made the wrong choice, his whole pack could have been in danger, and if he had shown the world how much I meant to him while Molly was still here, his enemies would have come after me. I held his shoulders and looked at him closely. So yes, I was hurt, but I understand. Sometimes leaders must make hard choices. Sometimes they must break hearts to save lives. Michael let out a long sigh. His small shoulders dropped. "Just don't look too pretty tonight, please." I laughed softly, ran my fingers through his hair till he got messy. I knows he hates a messy hair. His annoyed look only made me laugh more. "I can't promise you that, little one," I said teasingly, and went back to setting myself up. When I wore the dress, I was in awe of my reflection. I had never seen a dress that could be so gorgeous while been elegantly simple. The mirror showed a woman I almost did not know. The dress fit me perfectly, like it was made for me. The neckline was modest, but the diamond necklace he sent with the dress made it all more perfect. It was a royal blue gown. It made my skin glow like fire under the moon. For the first time in a long time, I felt beautiful. I felt seen, felt happy. Michael's eyes widened when he saw me. Then he looked away quickly, his ears turning red. "I told you not to look too pretty," he muttered. I laughed and pinched his cheek softly. "Sorry, Michael, I could not help it." Two maids waited at the bottom of the stairs. They bowed and led me through the hallway. When I stepped outside, my heart stopped. The garden was glowing. Lanterns hung from the trees, their lights soft and golden. Flowers covered the paths, filling the air with sweet scents. A long table stood in the center, covered in white silk. Candles flickered on it, dancing gently with the breeze. It looked like a dream. And then I saw him. Damien stood near the table. His back was to me. He wore a black suit that fitted him perfectly. His broad shoulders looked strong under the cloth. His hair caught the light from the lanterns. I smiled without even knowing it. My heart raced faster. Then he turned. His face stole my breath. His eyes found me instantly, and a smile touched his lips. It was the kind of smile that could break every wall inside me. He walked toward me slowly. His steps were calm, but sure. When he reached me, he pulled out a chair. His hand brushed against mine as he helped me sit. "You look so beautiful, Ava," he said. His voice was low, almost like a secret meant only for me. Heat filled my cheeks. I lowered my eyes, but a smile slipped onto my lips. The moment was calm, too calm. I almost forgot the pain of the past. He raised his glass and nodded toward me. "To us," he said, "to new beginnings. This is my apology date." My lips parted slightly. I had not expected him to call it that. Before I could say anything, he stood and reached for me. His hand stretched out, steady. "Dance with me." My heart jumped. Slowly, I placed my hand in his. He pulled me up and led me to the open space where the lanterns shone brightest. His arm slid around my waist. His other hand held mine firmly. I felt my body go weak. My breaths came faster. It was like before, like the first time we danced. The dance that led to our first night together. His touch was strong but careful. His eyes stayed on mine. "You have never looked this beautiful," he whispered. His lips were close to my ear. His breath touched my skin. I shivered. My chest grew heavy with feelings I could not hide. Then his hands moved to my cheeks. His thumbs brushed lightly over my skin. His face came closer, inch by inch. My heart pounded so loud it hurt. My lips parted slightly. I could not look away. But then something happened. A sharp pain struck my chest. I gasped. My hands grabbed my heart. My knees bent. My body fell forward. "Ava!" Damien's voice broke with fear. He caught me quickly, holding me tight. But then his face twisted. His own hand clutched his chest. His breath grew heavy. The pain was inside him too. But even with his own pain, his arms stayed around me. His eyes were wild with worry. "Ava, look at me. Stay with me." His voice shook. I tried to speak, but my voice failed. The world around me began to blur. My chest burned like fire. The last thing I saw was his face, his fear, his love, his desperation, and then everything turned black. Damien POV. I took her into my arms. She felt so light. She had lost some weight. Her head fell against my chest. My heart pounded so hard, like I was about to die. I was so scared. "Hold on, Ava, please," I whispered, but she could not hear me. Marcus opened every door in our way, and I rushed into the PAC hospital. The healers gathered, the doctors did their work, yet she laid unresponsive to their treatments. I prayed silently to the goddess in my heart, but I wished I could do a lot more than just pray. She laid almost lifeless on the bed, but I refused to let her go. I held her hand tightly. The doctors moved fast. They checked her heartbeat, her breathing, her stomach. They whispered to each other and frowned. Then one of them turned to me with a small bow. "Alpha," he said, we cannot find anything wrong. Her body is strong. Her child is safe. Her heart is steady. There is no reason she should have fallen unconscious." I stared at him in disbelief. My chest was still aching with the same sharp pain I had felt when she collapsed. I knew this was not nothing, Keep checkered, my voice sharper than I intended. They obeyed, but the results were the same. Nothing. Michael had followed us. He stood by the corner, his little face pale, his fists clenched like he was ready to fight the whole world. He looked at Ava and then at me, his eyes full of questions I could not answer. I sat beside her and buried my face in her hand. My chest hurt more when I looked at her pale face. I pressed her fingers to my lips and breathed her in. For the first time in a long while, I was afraid. Not of enemies, not of war, but of losing her. "Please wake up. Please, Ava." Her body moved slightly. A soft cough escaped her lips. My head shot up. Her eyes fluttered open slowly, like heavy curtains revealing the sun. Relief burst inside me so strong my throat tightened. "You're awake," I whispered, brushing her hair back from her damp forehead. My fingers slipped into her soft strands. She looked at me, her weak smile small but powerful enough to break me. She raised her hand quickly and placed it over her stomach. "The baby," she started, but her voice cracked. "The baby is fine," I said firmly, holding her hand down against her stomach. "The healers checked. Your child is strong. You are strong." I could almost hear her whisper saying, "our child." But I didn't put that into any consideration at that time. Her eyes watered and my chest swelled with both relief and love. I kissed her forehead softly, letting my lips linger. "Glad you're okay. I'll be right back. Rest for me." She nodded weakly, and I forced myself to let go. It felt like ripping myself apart to walk away from her side, but I had to. Marcus followed me out. I shut the door behind us and leaned against the wall, my hand clutching my chest. The ache was still there, heavy and deep. "Something is wrong," I admitted, my voice low. Marcus frowned. "Alpha?" I felt her pain, I whispered. My eyes closed as the memory of it returned. The fire, the stabbing pain in my heart. When she collapsed, it was inside me too. I felt it. This isn't the mate bond. We're not mated, Marcus, but still there's something pulling me to her, something I cannot explain. He tilted his head. Could it be because of love? The word struck me harder than any blade. I looked at him sharply, as if he had attacked me. Love? No, it couldn't be. "I don't know about that," I said quickly, shaking my head. "I know I need to protect her. I know her smile. It does something to me, and I can't forget what she did for me years ago. I owe her my life. Maybe that's gratitude. Maybe it's duty. I don't know if it's love." Marcus sighed heavily, his shoulders dropping. "Then what do you think it is?" "I can't get Molly's last words out of my head," I muttered. The thought haunted me like a shadow. Something is wrong. I need to know why Ava gets sick when she's with me, why I feel her pain too. There must be an answer. "And where will you find it?" Marcus asked. "I know who to meet." The night air smelled of smoke and wine when we stepped into the bar. Music pounded against the walls, laughter spilled from drunken mouths, and bodies moved wildly to the beat. Lights flickered across the room, colors blending with shadows. I hated this place, but I needed answers. We pushed through the crowd until we reached the counter. Behind it, a woman spun bottles with graceful fingers. She poured wine into glasses without spilling a drop, her movements like a dance. Her black hair fell in waves down her back, and her lips were painted a deep red. Her eyes were sharp, bright like fire under the dim lights. "Regina." She noticed me instantly. A slow smile spread across her face. "Well, well," she said, setting a bottle down. "Look who we have here, the Alpha himself." She grabbed a bottle of alcohol and slid it across the counter toward me. I caught it without looking away. "How are you, Regina?" She leaned forward on the counter, her fingers trailing along the wood. Then she walked around and came closer, her hips swaying, her eyes locked on mine. She reached up and slid her fingers down my face, slow and seductive. "To what do I owe this visit?" she purred. I caught her hand and moved it away. "I need your services again." Her playful smile faded as she studied me. Then her eyes narrowed. She stepped closer, looking into me as if she could see my soul. Suddenly, her expression shifted to one of curiosity and fear. "Why?" she whispered. "Do you have the regnant stone in you?" My brows pulled together. "What's the regnant stone?" Her face hardened. She straightened her back, her teasing gone. The air around us grew heavier as she spoke. "Long ago, before pacts were formed, there was an Alpha who feared losing power to love. He begged the moon goddess for a strength greater than any mate could give. She pitied him and gave him a gift, a stone made from her fallen light. The regnant stone. It burned with power." She looked me dead in the eye. "But the stone was cursed. It drew its strength from love, feeding on the bond it could never have. Whoever carried it would never find their true mate, because the stone demanded their heart remain bound to it alone. And if the bearer dared to fall in love, the curse would awaken. Both lovers would feel a pain worse than death. The weaker soul would always suffer most, sometimes even die." Her words hit me like cold steel. Marcus and I exchanged a look. Regina leaned closer, lowering her voice. "Now I see why you've been an incredible Alpha. You have the strength of the regnant stone, but if the curse is active, if you have fallen in love..." She smirked cruelly. "Then your suffering has only just begun. The backlash will make you wish for death itself." My chest tightened with rage. My fists clenched until my knuckles turned white. How do I get rid of it? I growled. Regina laughed. Get rid of it? Alpha Damien, you have what every other alpha would die for. You want to throw it away? She tilted her head, teasing. I could tell you how, but what would I gain in return? I pulled out a small card with my seal, the mark of my authority. I slammed it on the counter. With this, you can have anything in my name. Her eyes lit up. She grabbed the card and pressed it to her chest like it was treasure. Fine, she said. Her tone grew serious. I've heard that only the moonstone can weaken the regnant stone. But the moonstone has been lost for centuries. Some say it was destroyed. Others believe the goddess herself took it back. No one knows if it still exists. Her smile returned, crueler this time. So instead of wasting your life searching for it, I suggest you do the easier thing. Make sure your woman loves you more every day. The more she loves you, the weaker she becomes. That way, when the curse rips one of you apart, it won't be you. She laughed harshly. The rage inside me exploded. I grabbed her by the throat and slammed her against the wall. Her laughter turned into choking gasps. Watch your mouth, I snarled. Marcus pulled at my arm. Alpha, stop! You'll kill her! Regina's face turned red, but she still managed to smirk through her choking. Her eyes glittered. Seeing you like this, she rasped, makes me wonder, have you fallen in love, Alpha Damien? Her words froze me. My hand trembled around her neck. Love, the word again. I couldn't answer. I didn't know if it was true, but one thing was certain. What if I didn't get rid of this curse, Ava would die, and I would never let that happen. Damien's POV. I turned to leave, but Regina wasn't done. You should watch out, Alpha, she said softly with a cracked voice. They sounded more like a threat than warning. She touched her neck, which still had a mark of my finger on it. She caressed it softly before she could speak more. I paused at her words, but I didn't look back. Whoever is cursed to be your Luna, Regina continued, her voice cutting through the noise of the bar, will carry the mark of the regnant stone. If she does have it, then it's only a matter of time. She is going to die. I tightened my fist. I felt a strong urge to punch her in the face, make her wolf scream for help, but I stopped myself. I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of seeing me scared, so I just kept on walking. When I reached the car, Marcus was already waiting by the side. I paused before opening the door. My chest was heavy. My heart was beating too loud. Find out everything you can about the regnant stone and the moonstone, I told Marcus. My voice was sharp, almost like a command I couldn't hold back. Marcus bowed his head. Yes, Alpha. I stepped into the car, but I didn't feel any lighter. It was almost dawn by the time I stood at the entrance of Ava's room. I had been pacing the hallways, fighting with myself. I didn't want to go inside because I was afraid of what I might see on her face, afraid of what I might feel in my own heart. But in the end, I couldn't stay away. I stood at her door entrance with my arms crossed, watching her sleep. She laid weakly on the bed. Her breath was slow and gentle. Her face looked pale. Even in her weakness, she was beautiful. And that terrified me. She rolled slowly on the bed, her eyes blinked open, and she saw me standing right in front of her. She let out the warmest smile I have seen in a long time. She weakly stretched her hands towards me. I hesitated. My chest tightened. I wanted to hug her tightly and maybe kiss her, but I was scared. Scared I would be the cause of her death. Scared she would love me more. But I couldn't help myself. Watching her keep her hands in the air for so long despite her weak state, I couldn't help myself any longer. I took her hands. I helped her sit up slowly on the bed. She kept her eyes on me the whole time. I loved the way she looked at me, but hated it at the same time. "Where did you go?" she asked me, her voice soft and fragile. I smiled faintly. I ran my fingers through her hair, arranging the stray strands as I tucked them behind her ears. "I just went to get some things done," I said. "How do you feel now?" "Better," she said with a soft smile, but soon after, her smile faded. She drew closer to me. I could feel her hands trembling slightly. It made me worry more. "I don't know what's happening," she whispered, "but when I was in that state, I realized life is really short, and I should do the things I want to do before I miss them forever." I froze. Her words were sharp and made my heart thundered. A part of me already knew where this was headed. Hearing her speak of short life made me a little scared. She took in a deep breath. Asher hands slowly caressed her belly. Damien, I don't know when it happened. I just woke up one morning and realized how much I love you. My whole body froze. Her voice trembled, but her eyes were shining with honesty. I know we're not mates, and maybe one day you'll find your true mate. I also know you might not even love me, but if I don't tell you how I feel today, I'll regret it forever. She smiled again, but it was a smile filled with hope and pain at the same time. My chest felt like it was on fire. I wanted to tell her everything, that I loved her too, that every time I saw her smile, something inside me lit up. That I couldn't stand the thought of her leaving me, but I couldn't, because her love was a death sentence. Before I could say a word, she pressed herself into me, her arms wrapped around me tightly. I froze. My heart exploded in pain. Slowly, I wrapped my arms around her, holding her close, burying my head in her shoulder. I closed my eyes and let myself feel her warmth, her love, her trust. But then I saw it. A faint glow appeared on her back. I opened my eyes in shock. A mark was burning through her skin, the mark of the regnant stone. A circle with a howling wolf carved into it. My blood ran cold. Her body weakened against mine. She gasped in pain. Her hands gripped me tightly, as if she was falling. I held her tighter, shutting my eyes as tears stung them. I forced the tears back in, but inside I was breaking. I leaned close to her ear and whispered, "I'm sending you back to your home today." She froze in my arms. She pulled back and stared at me with wide, disbelieving eyes. "You lied to me," I said, forcing my voice to sound cold even though it was breaking inside me. "You never told me you were the banished wolf. There's an outlaw against helping someone like you. You've put my pack in danger just to save yourself." My words were sharp, each one cutting me as much as they cut her. Her lips trembled. Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't mean to hide it. I just didn't get the chance to tell you." She grabbed my hand desperately. "Please don't send me away. I want to stay with you." I ripped my hand away from hers. My anger wasn't at her, but at the curse. At fate. At myself. But she thought it was at her. "And worse," I said, "I found out Andrew was your fiancé. You never told me about that either. From the beginning, you've been keeping secrets." Tears spilled down her cheeks. She shook her head violently. "No, Damien, please." I didn't want it this way. Before sunset, I cut her off harshly. "You must leave and never come back." Her sob broke through the room. She fell to her knees, crying, her shoulders shaking. I turned away quickly. My chest felt like it was tearing apart. I walked out before I could take the words back. But the moment the door closed behind me, I leaned against the wall. I grabbed my chest, gasping for breath. The pain was worse than anything I had ever felt. "This is good, Ava," I whispered to myself, my voice breaking. "Let me be the one who loves you more. That way, you won't have to feel this pain." I slid down the wall, my hand clutching my chest, trying to contain the storm inside me. "I'm the one with the stone. I should be the one to face the curse. You are my Luna, and I will protect you, even if it costs me my life." Far away, back at the bar, Regina was watching the crowd when she noticed a shadow moving among the people. Something about the figure drew her attention. She followed it quietly until they both reached a silent space behind the building. The figure stopped. Its back was turned to her. The cloak it wore was familiar. The same cloak Ava had seen before, the same one worn by the figure who whispered orders to Molly. Regina's lips curved into a wicked smile. "I told him exactly what you said I should." The figure turned slowly, pulling down the hood. It wasn't a stranger. It was Marcus, my beta. His eyes were dark, filled with hatred and something far worse, betrayal. "Very good, Regina," he said coldly. "He will come back, and when he does, you know what to do." Regina's smile widened, cruel and mocking. "Oh, Alpha, you have no idea what's coming for you." She let out a soft laugh that grew sharper and colder, echoing through the night. Marcus only stood there, his face hard, his eyes filled with nothing but shadows. Darkness, Ava's POV. I lay on the cold floor beside the bed. My body felt weak. My face was stiff from the dried tears that stained my skin. My chest rose and fell slowly, but inside me there was no peace. There was only emptiness. Michael sat quietly beside me. He did not say a word. He only sat there with his hands on his knees, looking at me as if he wanted to help but did not know how. His silence pressed against the air, heavy and sharp. I did not even try to speak. Words had no meaning anymore. For a long time we sat like that, just silence, just pain, just brokenness filling the room. But my mind was screaming. I could not rest, I could not breathe, I could not accept what had just happened. Damien's words had cut me deeper than any sword. He wanted me gone, he wanted to send me away like I was nothing. I slowly sat up. My legs trembled as I pushed myself off the floor. I pressed a hand against my chest. My heart was beating hard and angry. I whispered to myself, "It's only because of him, because of the Alpha, that I suffer like this today. If not for him, I would not be alone. If not for him, I would not be banished. If not for him, I would not have to hide my truth. It was because of Damien that I was a lone wolf. Because of him, my life had been torn apart, and now he just abandoned me too. He had to take responsibility. He had to. I would not let myself be abandoned again. Never. Not this time." I rose to my feet, wiping my face with the back of my hand. My steps were strong even though my body felt weak. Anger was the only thing keeping me moving. My anger was louder than my fear, louder than my pain. I marched out of the room. The sound of the door banging shut echoed through the hallway. It was the sound of my decision, the sound of my rage. I followed the familiar path to Damien's study. My heart was heavy, but my steps were firm. When I reached the door, I did not hesitate. I pushed it open with force. The wood slammed against the wall with a loud bang. Inside, Damien stood with his back turned, his tall figure facing the window. The moonlight spilled across his shoulders, making him look almost like stone. I was already shaking with anger. My voice rose without me even trying. "What do you think you are doing?" I shouted, my voice trembling. "You think you can just keep me when you feel like it and throw me out when you are done? Do you think I am some object you can move around at will?" He did not turn. He stood still. My chest tightened. My face burned. I could feel the hot tears behind my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. "I am not leaving this place." I yelled again, my words sharp and bitter. "You call yourself Alpha. You claim to protect everyone, but you cannot even protect your own child." I pressed a hand against my belly. The touch gave me strength. The life growing inside me gave me courage. I took a deep breath. My voice dropped low, but every word carried my soul. "You may have forgotten that night," I whispered, "but I remember. I remember it like it was yesterday because that night changed everything for me." The memory rushed into my mind. The music, the lights, the way he looked at me, the way he touched me, the way we danced. It was not just another night for me. It was the beginning of everything. "At the mask party, barely 3 months ago. Sounds familiar?" I said, my lips trembling. "Maybe for you, it was nothing. Maybe you've been with so many women that you can't count them anymore. But for me, you were my first." My voice broke. I pressed a hand to my mouth, but I forced the words out. "And my last." The silence in the room was sharp. My whole body shook. "I'm carrying your child, Alpha," I said at last. The words hung heavy in the air. My eyes burned, but I looked straight ahead. I was banished because of this very reason. Because of this child. So if you have even a little sense of decency left inside you, then you will take responsibility. You will not cast me away. Still, he did not turn. Still, he did not move. I gasped. My chest rose and fell quickly. How could he not react? Did my words mean nothing? "I will not be thrown into the streets," I shouted, my voice raw with pain. "I will not leave my child to the mercy of humans. Anyone can abandon me, but not you. You cannot. Because I carry your heir." I waited. I begged with my eyes for him to speak, for him to move, for him to show me something. But he stood still. Anger burned hotter in my chest. I could not take it anymore. I stormed up to him, my steps loud on the floor. I grabbed his arm with all the strength I had and turned him to face me. But the face that looked back at me was not Damien's. It was Andrew. My eyes widened. My body froze. I stumbled backward. My breath caught in my throat. He smiled with a wicked grin. His laughter filled the room sharp and cruel. "Surprise," he said. His voice dripped with mockery. "No," I whispered, shaking my head. My knees weakened. "No, this can't." "What a wonderful speech," Andrew said, laughing again. "So touching, so emotional. I'm carrying your heir." He mimicked my words with cruel exaggeration. My chest ached, my hands trembled. He tilted his head. Too bad Damien wasn't here to hear all this. "Where is Damien?" I asked sharply, forcing the words out even as fear clutched my throat. Andrew shrugged with fake ease. "He's gone. He called me here to take care of the baggage he left behind." My stomach twisted. My lips trembled. Baggage? I repeated, my voice breaking. Yes, Andrew said coldly, his words, not mine. He stepped closer, slow and careful. His eyes glistened with something cruel. Even after you betrayal, just one call from your lover and I came running. You can never find a perfect man like me who loves you so much, he spoke with much confidence, full of himself. I smirked in disbelief. He was anything but perfect. You should be glad I was the one who heard your touching speech, he continued, because if Damien had heard it, things would be very different. My body stiffened. What do you mean? I whispered. He smiled wider, his teeth sharp. Your baby would not have survived it. My breath caught. I pressed my hand against my stomach protectively. My whole body shook. What do you mean? He leaned closer, his voice low and dark. Don't you know the pack rules? No other wolf is allowed to bear the alpha's heir, except his true mate. He can lie with other women, he can touch them, but only his Luna can carry his first child. That is the law, and if you give birth before her. His smile widened, cruel and wicked. Your child will be killed. I froze, my mind went blank, my heart stopped. No, I whispered. No, that's not true. That can't be true. But deep down something told me it was. Something told me that this was the curse. This was the fate I could not escape. Tears spilled down my cheeks. My knees shook. I wanted to run, but my feet would not move. Andrew's hand shot out, grabbing my arm before I could react. His grip was strong, too strong. Let me go, I cried, struggling against him. But he only laughed. You're coming with me. No, I screamed, thrashing against him. My fists hit his chest, but it was like striking a wall. He was too strong. My strength was nothing compared to his. Stop fighting, he hissed. It will only hurt more. Don't you see what's happening here? Your lover already abandoned you. He laughed. Let me go, I screamed again, my voice breaking. I will never go with you. But my cries were useless. He pushed me hard against his chest, his hand pressed over my mouth. My scream died in my throat. The world around me blurred. My vision spun. My body grew heavy. No, I whispered weakly, my voice fading. And then darkness swallowed me. Ava's POV. I blinked. I could feel the warm touch of sun rays on my skin. I covered my eyes with my hands as I rolled lazily on the bed. Suddenly, the memories returned. I sprang up on the bed. My eyes scanned every corner of the room. I was back in Andrew's house. The ROM was beautiful and well-furnished, but they always felt like prison to me. My chest tightened. I hated being here. I tried sitting up, but then I felt the sharp pain on my neck where Andrew had hit me. My breathing was rough. My heart raced in confusion. The door slid open with a soft creak. Andrew stepped in. Just to see him alone made me feel so much irritation and anger. My blood boiled with every step he took forward. Why did you bring me here? My voice shook, but it carried anger. What do you want from me? He smirked like a man proud of himself. You're still stubborn, Ava. Even after Damien abandoned you, you still refuse to accept what is right in front of you. His words cut through me, sharp and cruel. You should have given up your pride long ago, he continued, stepping closer, his voice thick with arrogance. You should have begged me to marry you. Do you not see? I am the one who wants you. I am the one willing to stand by you. I shook my head, disgust twisting my stomach. You don't want me. You only want to own me. He ignored my words and crouched down close to me, his eyes searching mine. Between Damien and I, who treated you better? Tell me, Ava. Damien tossed you aside like dirt. But me? I would never throw you away. I would keep you. Even if you carry another wolf's child, I would still have you. I would make you my mistress. My eyes widened. I clenched my fist in anger as I stood up against him. You will never have me, I shouted. Do you hear me, Andrew? Never. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, you will never be Damien. You can never compare to him. His smile faded. His eyes darkened with rage. In a flash, his hand wrapped tightly around my neck. He slammed me against the wall. My breath caught as his grip crushed my throat. Why do you always look down on me? He growled, his face twisted with anger. Why do you always choose him? I am stronger. I am smarter. I am the one who truly wants you. Tears stung my eyes, but my anger didn't die. I glared back at him even through the pain. He leaned closer, his voice dark, dripping with poison. Watch, Ava. Watch as I destroy Damien's pack. Watch as I kill him right in front of your eyes. And then I will marry you, with his head placed on the altar as we speak our vows. My stomach dropped. My whole body trembled with horror. His words were like fire burning through my chest. "This is my promise to you," he said with venom, then threw me onto the bed and stormed out, slamming the door behind him. The sound echoed in the room. I gasped for air, my hand on my chest. Tears streamed down my face, but they weren't just from pain. They were from fear. Fear for Damien, fear for the child in me. But more than anything, anger burned hotter than fear. I could not let Andrew win. Damien's POV. I sat in my chair, staring into empty space. My body was strong, but my spirit felt weak. My chest was heavy, and for once I could not breathe as an alpha should. Marcus stood beside me, pretending to be loyal, but his eyes carried something sharp. Something I didn't like. "Why don't you just tell her you love her?" Marcus asked, his voice soft, almost mocking. "You both can be happy. Forget the regnant stone. True love is the greatest force in the world." My hands tightened into fists. I stayed quiet for a long time. Finally, I whispered, "If anyone should suffer, it should be me, not her. She should not carry this pain. I am the one cursed by the stone. She must not suffer because of me." Marcus tilted his head, acting clueless. "Well, it's a good thing she has returned to her fiancé. Perhaps she will learn to love him instead." His words hit me like a blade. My head snapped up, my eyes narrowing. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice low and dangerous. Marcus froze for a second, then he tried to cover it up. "You sent her away, did you not? I thought that's what you wanted. So I called Andrew. He came and took her." The world around me blurred. My chest roared with fire. My heart slammed in my chest. Before I knew it, I was on my feet, my hand crushing Marcus's neck. I lifted him off the ground, my growl filling the room. "Who gave you that order?" I thundered. My eyes burned with fury. "Who told you to hand her over to him?" Marcus struggled, choking. His eyes widened with fake innocence. I thought that's what you wanted. Forgive me, Alpha." Rage burned in me, but I pushed him away. He fell hard against the floor. I paced back and forth, my wolf clawing at my chest. "She can go anywhere she wishes, but not with Andrew. Never with him. He is poison. He does not deserve her." I grabbed my coat and stormed out, my steps shaking the floor. Marcus called out to me, his head bowed. I paused, but after I walked out, shutting the door behind me, Marcus' face twisted into a cruel smile. "Yes, Damien," he muttered under his breath. "Go after her. Fight for her. While you are away, I will take everything that belongs to you. And when you return, you will have nothing left." His laughter echoed behind me, but I didn't hear it. My only thought was Ava. I rushed into my car. My body shook with rage. My wolf was restless, howling inside me. I didn't care who stood in my way. I would tear them apart to bring her back. The car roared forward. Behind me, hidden in the shadows, Michael slipped into the trunk of my car. He would not let me face this alone. So the car screeched into Andrew's compound. Guards scattered as I stormed out. Their weapons shook in their hands, but they dared not attack me. They whispered in fear. Andrew stepped out of his house with a fake smile plastered on his lips. "Ah, my friend," he said mockingly. "What brings you here?" I didn't let him finish. In a heartbeat, I was in front of him. My hand wrapped around his throat. I slammed him hard against the wall, the ground trembling from the impact. His eyes widened in shock and fear. "Where is she?" My growl was sharp, deadly. He stuttered. I don't know what you are talking about." I squeezed harder. "Where is she?" My wolf stirred, my ears twitching, searching, listening. I closed my eyes and reached for her heartbeat, for the thread that connected us. And then I found her. My eyes flew open. I tossed Andrew across the yard like a rag doll. His body crashed against the ground. I didn't even look back. My feet carried me forward, up the stairs, my wolf guiding me. My chest burned with urgency. Every step drew me closer. I reached the door. My hand paused at the door handle. Ava's POV. I sat on the bed, breathing hard. My hands shook. Andrew's words echoed in my head like poison. "He will destroy Damien. He will kill him." I pressed my hand to my stomach. "No," I whispered. "I will protect him. I will protect my child father." Then suddenly my body stiffened. A strange warmth spread through my chest. My heart skipped. My wolf stirred. My eyes narrowed in confusion. I knew this feeling. "He's here." My eyes widened. I looked toward the door, my breath catching. The door slammed wide, and there he was. Damien. His chest rose and fell, his breathing heavy. His eyes were full of fire. Anger, worry, pain, fear, all of it at once. I froze, my heart racing. My tears broke free. Oh God, his eyes stared at me with so much love that it made me wonder if it was real. He looked at me like he was dying to see me. I couldn't have been wrong. He took a step forward, then another. His hands shook, his jaw clenched. Damien, I called out his name softly. His eyes softened for a moment, and then something inside him snapped. He rushed forward, but then paused close to me. I stood up slowly, trying to read his expression, but I wasn't sure what he was thinking. And in that moment, his hands wrapped around my waist, he pulled me closer to him. I could barely breathe when his lips fell against mine in a kiss so deep, raw, and intense. My heart raced like it could fall out of my chest, but then I slowly closed my eyes as I let myself sink into the moment. It wasn't just a kiss, it was a cry. It was pain. It was anger. It was love breaking free. I clutched his shirt, pressing myself into him like I could swallow him. I kissed him back hungrily, desperately, as if I would never let go. In his arms, I felt alive again. Ava's POV. The kiss sank down into my soul. Just one kiss and I am totally lost in him. My entire body was trembling. This moment was magical. His lips left mine for some moment, just enough time for us to breathe. I looked into his eyes. All I saw was passion. I saw how much he wanted me. I love him, and kiss was just the biggest confirmation. Before I could react, he pulled me in again, only this time he was fiercer, like he had gotten my approval to do as he pleased. He kissed me hungrily like he could never get enough of me, and I loved every moment of it. I didn't want him to stop. Every part of me screamed to stay in his arms. And then, just like a nightmare in daylight, I saw him, Andrew, standing at the door. My stomach tightened in panic. But Damien didn't stop. He finally broke the kiss, his breathing harsh, his forehead resting against mine. "Let's get out of here," he said, his voice low, almost breaking. I couldn't speak. My throat ached with the weight of emotions. I only shook my head slightly, afraid that if I opened my mouth I would cry. But Damien didn't wait for my answer. He bent down, scooping me into his arms like I weighed nothing. His hold was firm, possessive, and unshaken. As he strode past Andrew, I saw the fire in his eyes, a declaration that I belonged to him, no one else. Andrew froze. He looked wounded, shocked, but Damien didn't even spare him a word. His arms tightened around me, and in that silence I sank my head into his chest. I smiled despite the chaos inside me. I was safe there. Damien's POV. Her warmth against me, her heartbeat, her scent, it drove me mad. Carrying her past Andrew was not just about taking her away. It was me staking a claim. She was mine, and I would rather fight the whole world than let her go. But even as I held her, my chest burned with guilt. I was the one who had pushed her away, who had let Andrew close, and now I was stealing her back, forcefully, shamelessly. I didn't know what this made me, only that I couldn't stand another second without her near me. I laid her gently in the front seat of my car. Her eyes clung to me, searching, confused. What does this mean? I could almost hear her thoughts, and the truth was, I didn't even know how to explain myself. "I want to take you somewhere," I said, my voice rougher than I intended. I didn't wait for her reply. I started the car and drove. Ava's POV. As Damien took me towards the car, I thought I saw someone who looked like Michael running into Andrew Mansion, but of course I knew I was mistaken. Michael wouldn't be here. The drive ended at a large, lonely mansion. The place looked old, but there was something hauntingly beautiful about it. The air was heavy with memories. I could feel it even before Damien opened the door. "This was where I grew up," he said softly, almost smiling, as if he was seeing a ghost he once loved. Inside, the walls carried a silence so deep it hurt. I walked beside him quietly, my fingers brushing against his. "I used to run around here with my best friend Mira," he said, pointing to a corner. For a moment, I saw a boy in him, a boy who once laughed freely, who once had a world before everything was taken. Then his face changed, his jaw tightened, his eyes dimmed. This place was filled with happiness until one night, I lost everyone. I turned quickly, searching his face. "They destroyed my pack," he whispered. His voice cracked. "Every single one of them. My people, my family, gone. They wanted something powerful enough to kill for. I still don't know what it was. All I know is, they left me alive, barely, and I wished I had died with them." Tears glistened in his eyes. My heart broke. I wanted to hold him, to take his pain away. "My father died protecting me. I was wounded, too weak to fight. I prayed to the goddess to take me, but instead, someone came. He turned to me then, his hand cupped my face so gently that my chest ached. That night, I saw an angel. She gave me her blood, and she saved me. That angel was you, Ava. My lips parted, my breath caught. Me? You saved me, he whispered, his thumb brushing my cheek. And from that day, I swore to repay you, even with my life. I swallowed hard, tears blurring my eyes. One of the reasons I will do anything to protect you is because you saved me. His eyes softened, dark and deep. But the other reason is because my heart belongs to you. I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you. I gasped, my tears spilling over. Damien, his voice shook. I don't know how or when it happened, but I'm in love with you. Madly, desperately, and I don't know how to live in a world without you. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. The words I had dreamed of hearing were finally here, raw and unpolished. I wanted to believe. I wanted to scream with joy. If you're joking, I whispered, trembling, please stop. This is not funny. But his tears fell too, and they told me everything. I love you, Ava, he said again, firmer this time. I love you more than I can ever say. I broke then. I cried and laughed at once, because how could my heart hold this much joy? I love you too, Damien. I can't imagine loving anyone else the way I love you. And then his lips found mine again. This kiss was different. It was soft, filled with love, with relief, with unspoken vows. Damien's POV. Her words shattered the walls I had built around myself. She loved me. Despite everything, she loved me. I held her tighter, terrified this moment would slip away. We sat together by the large glass window, watching the stars. Her head rested on my shoulder, her fingers curled around mine. I wanted time to freeze right there. But my heart was heavy because, hidden in my pocket, was the small wooden bottle Marcus had given me. I flashed back to that moment in my study, the anger boiling inside me when I heard Andrew had taken her. I was ready to kill, ready to destroy anything in my way. Then Marcus had stopped me. Alpha, there's something you should know. He handed me the bottle. His eyes were uneasy. I got this from an old friend. It's a concoction, and whoever takes it loses the memory you want them to forget. If Ava drinks it, she can forget you. Forget the love, the pain, everything. Only you will remain in love, but she will be free. I had reached for it, my hands trembling. Marcus held it back a moment longer. If you do this, Alpha, the pain will crush you alone. It could kill you. Please, think carefully. But I had taken it anyway, because deep inside I already knew. I could never let her suffer for loving me. Now as she smiled so full of light, I pressed a kiss to her forehead. My hand slipped into my pocket, fingers brushing the cursed bottle. One day, I whispered silently, burying my face into her hair. Moon goddess, give me just one day like this. One day to show her how much I love her without her breaking, and then I will let her go. I held her tighter, as if my embrace could keep away the cruel truth that was waiting for us. She smiled, innocent and happy, while I silently broke inside. Michael's POV. The mansion was too quiet. I walked down the long hallway, my steps slow, my body tense. Every shadow made my skin crawl. Every door I opened gave me nothing. I searched and searched, but Ava was nowhere. Fear pressed down on me. My throat felt dry. Where was she? Why could I not find her? I kept moving. I did not even know where I was going anymore. I just hoped that one of the doors would give me what I was looking for. Then I froze. Marcus? He was walking just ahead of me. His back was straight, his steps steady, like a man who already knew where he was going. The sight of him made my stomach twist. Something about him felt wrong. He looked heavy, like he carried something dark inside him. I pressed myself against the wall, hiding in the corner. My heart pounded so loudly I thought he would hear it. If Marcus was here, then Alpha Damien must be close. That was what I told myself. But deep down, I knew this felt different. Marcus was not moving like a friend. He was moving like a man on a mission. I followed him. Quiet, careful. I made sure my feet touched the ground without sound. He opened a door and stepped inside. Before I could decide what to do, it happened. Andrew came from nowhere. His face was wild. His eyes burned. He grabbed Marcus by the throat and threw him hard against the wall. The sound echoed through the room. I gasped and jumped back, then quickly darted inside, hiding behind a wide desk. My hands shook as I crouched down. My chest rose and fell fast. I pressed my palm to my mouth, trying to silence my breath. From the crack of the desk, I saw them. Andrew's hands were trembling, but his voice was loud and sharp. "Now what?" he screamed. "I did everything you told me to do. I played along. I befriended Alpha Damien, for I even had to kiss up to his feet. I waited when you told me to. But now what? I still have nothing. My fiancé is gone. Damien still has his empire, and I'm just here without nothing. You tricked me." His voice was broken with rage. His whole body shook as if he might fall apart. Marcus did not answer at first. His face stayed calm, too calm, even with Andrew's hand tight on his neck. Then Andrew raised his hand to punch him again. Marcus caught it. The move was fast, like lightning. He twisted Andrew's wrist, then drove his fist into Andrew's chest. The sound of the punch made me flinch. Andrew stumbled back, gasping, his eyes wide with shock. "You lack patience," Marcus said. His voice was steady, cold. "That is why you will never defeat Damien." The calmness in his tone scared me more than Andrew's anger. Andrew tried to stand straight, but his voice cracked. "You told me to befriend Damien. I did. Even after he took my fiancée, I kept quiet. I acted like I didn't know, because you promised me. You promised me she would return to me. You promised me Damien's empire. But now look at me. I have nothing. And right now, I know they must be somewhere prophesying their undying love to each other. Happy together, while I stand here like a fool." The pain in his voice filled the room. He sounded broken and disgusted. But Marcus only stared at him. Then he said, calm and sharp, "And that is exactly how it should be." My body froze. My ears rang. Andrew's face went blank, like he did not believe what he just heard. He sent his Asher glare. His lips parted, but no words came out. Marcus stepped closer. His eyes burned with anger now. "For years," he said, "I have tried to make Damien fall in love. I sent women to him. I brought the most beautiful, the most clever. Not one could win him, not even Molly, the most skilled seductress of her pack. She failed. They all failed. Damien's heart stayed hard." His voice grew darker, louder. "But now, he has fallen. Finally, after 15 years, he has fallen. But of all people, he just had to choose that damned wolf, Ava. The one who has ruined my plans more than once. The one I hate most." Andrew's breathing was fast. His body shook with fear. "What did you do to Ava?" His voice was low at first, then louder. "What did you do?" Marcus laughed. The sound made my skin crawl. "I didn't kill her," he said. "Not yet." Andrew's face twisted in rage. He stepped forward, but Marcus raised his hand, his eyes sharp. "If anyone is to kill her," Marcus said, his voice cold, "it would be Damien. I would give anything to watch the pain in his eyes when he watched the love of his life take her last breath due to his foolishness. He must feel the weight of her death. Only then will he break. Only then will he truly die inside." I pressed my hand harder against my mouth. My stomach turned. My heart raced. Ava? Dead? No. I could not let that happen. Andrew's knees almost gave out. His voice cracked. "Why? What would you gain from killing her? She never did anything to you." Marcus's face hardened, his jaw tightened. "This is not about her," he said. "It is about Damien. He took my family from me. He left me with nothing, and I have spent 15 years waiting for this moment." Andrew looked at him, suspiciously. "You are doing too much to ensure Damien dies, but then you will give me his empire, really?" He smirked in disbelief. "What then do you stand to gain from all this?" Marcus turned to him sharply with a dark eye that could send anyone trembling on their feet. "I don't give a damn about his wealth or empire. I just want his life. The Alpha must die." His words cut through the air like knives. His words made my whole body freeze. "Damien has the regnant stone," Marcus continued. Andrew's eyes widened, his lips parted in shock. "The regnant stone? The stone that makes an Alpha undefeatable? I thought it was lost for ages." Marcus's smile was sharp. "Yes, but somehow it managed to appear in Damien's body. And now it turned out that the one who has the mark of the regnant stone is Ava." Andrew staggered back. His face turned white. "Ava?" "Yes," Marcus hissed. "Ava bears the mark of the regnant stone. That means she's his one and only true Luna." He let out a cruel smile. "She is the only one who can kill him. When she dies, the stone will crush him from the inside. It's said that when the one with the regnant mark loses its life, the stone will be destroyed. He will experience unbearable pain, worse than anything the mind could fathom, and finally the stone explodes, turning the heart into nothing but a pile of flesh scattered around." He smiled with so much pleasure. "That will be the end of Alpha Damien." My breath caught. My chest hurt. I wanted to run, to shout, to warn them. But I could not move. Damien thinks he feels the pain they feel is caused by the regnant stone, but that was just a story I made up, Marcus continues. Andrew's voice trembled, swallowing hard. But if the regnant stone doesn't cause pain, then what does? Marcus's smirk grew darker. He leaned closer. His eyes gleamed. Poison. The word hit me like a blade. My whole body shook. Ava, poisoned? Marcus went on, his voice cruel and slow. I started poisoning her the moment I noticed Damien care for her. It's natural that he feels her pains that's due to the connection of the regnant stone. He can feel her anytime. He thinks the pain is as a result of the elegant stone. In reality, the pain is caused from poisoning. He laughed, a long, cruel laugh that made me want to scream. The pain won't kill, just enough to make Damien feels it too and worry for her. I pressed myself harder into the desk. My eyes burned with tears. My breath came sharp and shallow. Then Marcus turned, his gaze on Andrew. The Alpha have taken the bait. Tonight he would try to make Ava loose all her memories for him, in hopes that she would forget she loved him too, he said in a fake sympathy tone. What an intense love he has, he mocked. His face squeezed, his expression darkened as he turned to leave, but paused midway. Brace yourself, he said, his voice low and final. Because the Alpha dies tonight. Tonight, my chest rose and fell fast. I had to move. I had to warn Damien. I had to save Ava's POV. The cushion sank under us. I lay with my head on his chest. His heartbeat was a steady drum. I could feel it under my ear. I could feel his breath on my hair. I could not stop smiling. His hands were warm on my back. I slid my fingers over his chest. It was soft under my touch. I wish you had told me sooner, I said. I would not have hurt so much. My voice sounded small. He kissed my forehead. The kiss was light. It made a small fire in my chest. He whispered softly to my ears, Make 3 wishes. I would grant them all today. He smiled like it was a game. I laughed. The almighty Alpha grants wishes, I teased. I will think on them. My words were playful, but my heart was full. He shook his head. Say them before the day ends, he said. He sounded like he meant it. I chose the easy wish first. Take me to the beach, I said. The words left me, and I felt like a child who had asked for sweets. He smiled. The car moved fast. The sea came into view like a vast blue promise. The wind ripped at my hair. I shouted. I felt free. He watched me. His eyes were soft. Watching me happy made him smile. I felt like I'd done something right. I ran to the water barefoot. The sand was cool between my toes. My white dress flowed around me. The sun touched my skin. I felt alive. He stepped up behind me. His arms wrapped my waist slowly. The world narrowed. He smelled like salt and something deeper. I froze. My heart started to race. Beautiful, he said. His voice was low. It made my knees weak. I laughed. The ocean is beautiful, I answered, meaning the sky and the water and the whole wide world. He lifted my chin. His eyes held mine. He looked at me like he wanted to memorize me. Not the ocean, he said. You. I felt my face burn. My breath left me. For a moment there was only him and me. The air felt thin and bright. I pecked his lips. It was small. It was all I dared. Then I ran, laughing like a fool. He chased me. The chase was a small, wild thing. We splashed water on each other like children. We laughed until our stomachs hurt. I wanted this to be forever. He caught me. He spun me and hugged me from behind. I felt how strong he was. He took my picture. He grinned like a man who kept treasures. Just then I saw a tiny bottle fell from his pocket. It rolled on the sand and stopped by my foot. I picked it up. It was small and dark. I called him over. He went pale when he saw it. He snatched it from my hand too fast. His fingers were rough and shaking. The moment tightened around us. I wanted to ask what it was, but the atmosphere wasn't right for such questions, so I ignored it. I forced my face into a smile and posed anyway. He laughed at me when I made a face. His laugh was full and free. I drank it in. I had not seen him laugh like that since I can remember. It felt like sunlight. We sat on a blanket later. I watched him as the sun slipped down. He looked at me like he was trying to hold on to something fragile. I wish, I began, and my voice trembled. My second wish. I stopped. His laughter faded. His eyes studied me. The air between us hummed. I wish you would always stay this happy, I said. I did not know why my words came out like a prayer. He came close. He lifted my face. His touch was gentle. I want to kiss you so bad, he said. He did not sound like a man playing. He sounded like a man confessing. My mouth went dry. Shame and heat rose in me at the same time. I was small and wild and honest. I opened and closed my mouth like a fish. Before I could find the words, his lips were on mine. The kiss hit me like a wave. It was hungry and soft at once. It stole my breath. Every nerve in me woke. He pulled me close. The world blurred. This kiss was not like the others. It held something raw. It held the kind of need that carved space in a person. I felt it in my bones. I felt like I might melt or break. He kissed me like there would be no more sun. He kissed me like it was all or nothing. The ocean shoved a small wave at our feet. It washed cool over my toes. I pulled away laughing because my chest felt too full. He had a look then. His eyes was filled with sadness, glistened wet. It made my smile fall away. He drew me back. He kissed me again. This time, his lips found its way down to my neck, leaving a warm hollow at my neck. A quiet sound left me. He moved with a tenderness that surprised me. Then he took my hand and whispered, "Come with me. I have something to show you." We walked a short way. Lights blinked between the palms. A path of flowers curled like a secret. The place looked like it was made for stories. I laughed, hurt and soft. "When did you do this?" I asked. "I did it quickly before we came," he said. His voice was steady but low. "I wanted you to know how special you are." There was wine on a small table. I reached for it. He watched me like he wanted to memorize the motion. He stepped closer and put his hands on my shoulders. His face was so near that I could see every breath he took. "From the moment I met you," he said, "you gave me hope. You became my reason to live. I would sacrifice anything for you, even my life." His words fell like stones. I raised my hands and pressed them to his lips. "Don't say that," I whispered. "I don't want your life. I want you." He smiled, and there was pain behind it. His mouth said love. His eyes said fear. It felt like a promise and a farewell at once. His phone buzzed. He excused himself and walked away, saying he would be right back. I sat and poured some wine. The bottle smelled like grapes in the sun. I almost lifted it when my phone blinked with a message. I opened it. My breath stopped. The message said, "Alpha Damien is not who he claims to be. He plans on killing you and your child today." My world stopped for a sec. I read it again just to be sure, but still same thing. And then the second message came. It had a photo, the bottle on the sand, the same bottle, the same mark on the glass. My hands shook. I put the phone down and picked it up again. I stared at the picture until my eyes burned. "No," I said to the empty air. I begged in my heart that this turns out to be some stupid prank. Another message. "If you don't believe me, check the bottle. It contains poison." My memory pulled 1,000 threads. Damien's sudden switch from being an alpha who barely cared to being the one who would protect me with his life. Was it all a lie, or is this message from someone trying to draw a rift between us? I typed back with fingers that did not obey. "Who are you?" The reply came, "I believe every child has a right to live. The alpha must kill any child who comes from a woman who isn't his Luna. This is a law that has always been to protect the regime of the pack." My heart shattered. I had heard the same words from, I thought he just said that to scare me. Another message. Another message. "For the sake of your child, you must flee." I wanted the ground to swallow me. I wanted to run. I wanted to throw the bottle out and laugh and curl into his arms and sleep forever. But then I heard his voice from behind. He called my name then. It was soft. It folded through the air like silk. My phone slipped from my hand and hit the sand. My body trembled. I looked up and saw him walking back. His face was calm. His smile was small and real. I felt the world tilt. I wanted to jump into his arms. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust him with everything. But the message burned in my eyes. I feared if I trusted him, I could lose my child, but what if this was just a plan to cause a rift between us? I would be letting them win by not trusting you. I could not move. My fingers dug into the sand. I could not say which fear was bigger, the fear of losing him or the fear of his hands being the ones to hurt my child. He walked towards me and reached out. His palm hovered over mine. It trembled just a little. "I'm here," he said. The words were soft. He looked at me with love, but I could no longer ignore the obvious. He looked scared, worried, even though he tried to hide it. Could this be the reason for that? I stared at him. I stared at the bottle. I stared at my phone with the stranger's words on the screen. My lungs felt too small. I had to choose. Should I flee or should I stay? Michael's POV. The room was quiet. The discussion between Andrew and Marcus was over. They had left. The door slid open, then shut again. Silence filled the air. I stayed still under the desk, my breath shaky, my little hands pressed against the cold floor. My heart was beating so fast I thought it would explode. I listened carefully, but there was no sound. It felt like I was the only one left. Slowly, I crawled out from under the desk. My knees scraped the ground as I whispered to myself, I must get to Ava. Her life is in danger. I kept crawling forward, but then I stopped. My body froze. A shadow stood in front of me. Strong, tall still. Fear spread through me. My eyes lowered, first catching the polished shine of a pair of black shoes. They were sleek and pointed, made from fine leather that glistened under the dim light. My gaze moved up to the straight, well-fitted black suit trousers. They hugged the legs perfectly, the crease sharp and clean. My eyes climbed higher until I met the face above me. Dark, hard, cold. It was Marcus. My mouth dropped open in shock. My throat tightened. A tiny scream escaped before I could stop it. No, I whispered. His eyes didn't blink. He just stared down at me, as if I was nothing. A few minutes later, rough hands grabbed me. I was dragged out like a sack. My legs kicked, my arms flailed. Let me go! I screamed again and again, my voice breaking. But they didn't care. The men's hands were like iron. Marcus walked ahead of them, calm, unbothered. Then he stopped. He turned his head slowly to look at me. He's too loud, Marcus said in a low, sharp voice. Get him to keep quiet. No, no, please, I cried. But before another word could leave my lips, something hard struck the side of my neck. Pain shot through me. My body grew heavy, my eyes blurred. The world turned dark. Ava's POV. The sky was strange. Dark clouds covered it like a thick blanket. The air felt heavy. Thunder roared. A loud strike shook the earth. Lightning flashed, cutting across the sky bright and sharp. The wind came wild, blowing leaves and dust, shaking trees, slamming doors. The main door of Alpha Damien's mansion burst open. The lightning struck again, lighting up the entrance. A figure stood there, still, waiting. It was me, Ava. The wind tangled my hair, whipping it across my face. My clothes clung to my skin, messy and wrinkled. My face was pale, drained of color. My eyes were dark and hollow. The maids huddled together, whispering. First, it was Alpha Damien looking strange, one whispered. Now Miss Ava too, what happened? Yes, another said nervously. They both look cursed. I walked closer. My steps were steady, but my glare was sharp, heavy, frightening. They trembled as I stood before them. I spoke clearly. If the Alpha has a child out of wedlock from a woman who is not his Luna, he is forced to sacrifice the woman and the child? Tell me, is that true? The room went silent. The head maid stepped forward. She swallowed, straightened her shoulders, and said, It has been the rule of the pack for ages. It was made to keep the Alpha in check, to protect the Luna's position. Her words stabbed through me. I gasped, but quietly. A part of me had hoped it wasn't true. A part of me had wished it was just a rumor. But it wasn't. I let out a sharp hiss of anger and turned away from them. I went upstairs to my room. My hands moved fast, sliding clothes into a box. My heart pounded harder with each folded piece. I had to leave. I couldn't stay here. But when I turned to check, Michael wasn't there. Michael? I called softly, my voice shaking. No answer. I searched every corner of the room. Empty. I went downstairs, asked the maids if they had seen him. Every one of them shook their head. Fear clawed at me. My chest grew tight. My hands shook. What if Damien has something to do with it? The thought struck me hard. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I ran to Damien's room and pushed the door open. It was silent, too silent. My eyes scanned the room until I heard a faint sound, a twitch. I followed it. There he was. Damien. He sat on the floor, his back against the wall. His shirt was open, unbuttoned. His hair was messy, his hands trembling. Empty bottles surrounded him, rolling on the ground. One was still in his hand. He lifted it and drank deeply, the liquid spilling down his chin. I froze. My chest ached watching him like this. I had never seen him so broken. Was he sad because he had failed to kill me and the child tonight? Or was he sad because he still cared? I didn't know. I didn't want to hope. Hope was dangerous. My throat tightened, my heart was breaking. Then he noticed me. He stood up, his movements unsteady. His face was blank, but his eyes burned. What are you doing here? His voice was cold, empty. I stammered, my lips trembling. I can't find Michael. He smirked, but it wasn't joy. It was pain turned cruel. Maybe he left you too. Maybe he found out what you really are. A liar. A manipulative slut who doesn't deserve anyone. His words sliced through me like knives. He stepped closer, closing the space between us. His breath was heavy. His eyes were sharp with hatred. I swallowed hard, my chest rising and falling fast. I smirked weakly, though my heart was shattering. You make me sound so evil, whereas I stopped. I couldn't finish. Whereas what? He snapped. At least I wasn't the one playing with hearts, I whispered. His eyes darkened. His chest heaved. He stepped closer, his hands rough as they grabbed my waist. He pulled me against him. Did you have fun kissing me on the beach? His voice rose. Was it fun having me all over you while thinking of another man? Was it fun? He screamed the last words into my face. I trembled. My legs shook. I couldn't move. His pain, his anger, his brokenness, it all poured out of him like fire. He kissed me suddenly. His lips crushed mine, hard, forceful, painful. His hands pressed me tighter, too tight. I pushed against him, but he wouldn't let go. His kiss burned, cut. I felt blood on my lips. When I finally shoved him off, I touched my mouth. My fingers came away red. Blood. I looked at him, wide-eyed, confused, broken. He smirked bitterly. Get out, he said coldly. His voice was sharp, final. Get out of this mansion. I don't want to see you ever again. He picked up another bottle, tipped his head back, and walked away. His steps echoed until he disappeared, leaving me alone. I collapsed to the floor. My knees hit hard. Tears burst out of me. My body shook, my chest hurt, my sobs filled the room. I was lost, confused, shattered, alone. Marcus's POV. The hall was silent, too silent. It was the kind of silence that presses on your chest until you can hardly breathe. My head was heavy. My fists shook. Then I hurled the glass at the wall. It shattered. Pieces rained down like sharp stars, glittering on the marble floor. My chest rose and fell as if I had run for miles. My breath burned in my throat. Andrew sat beside me, still, quiet. His eyes followed me, but he said nothing. What went wrong? I muttered. My voice was hoarse. I dragged my fingers through my hair. My nails scratched my scalp until it stung. Where did I miscalculate? What did I miss? I slammed my fist against the wall. Pain shot through my knuckles, but I wanted it. I wanted the pain. It was nothing compared to what I carried inside. I had endured so much. I had held my rage back for years. Every night I told myself the time would come. Every night I fed on revenge like it was my only meal. And yet here I was, questioning if Damien was stronger than I thought. Maybe he would rather see Ava suffer than let her go. Maybe his cruelty was deeper than I imagined. I smirked bitterly, pacing. My steps echoed in the hall. I stopped and stared into the empty air. My eyes burned with hate. Then I'll show him the repercussion of his actions. Andrew's voice broke the silence. We have worked together for a long time, he said quietly, but I still don't understand. Why do you hate Alpha Damien so much, and worse, why drag Ava into this mess? I turned to him, my lips curved in a smile, but it wasn't a real smile. It was cold, bitter, hollow. Because everyone connected to Damien, I said slowly, will feel my wrath. I will make him pay for what he did to me, to my family. The words left me heavy. I felt myself falling, even though I was standing, and then memories came. I was small again. A boy. My feet didn't touch the ground as I sat at the table. The feast was warm. The room smelled of roasted meat and baked bread. My brothers laughed. My sister teased. My father's eyes shone with pride. My mother's hands stroked my hair. We were happy. Whole. Safe. Then a guard burst in. His face was pale. His voice rushed. Master, we are under attack. Everything broke at once. My father stood. His chair fell back with a crash. He barked orders, his voice sharp, his face hard. Guards rushed to shield us. My mother pulled us close. We were herded into the underground shelter. The stone walls were damp. The air was tight. We huddled together, my sister holding my hand. I could hear my heart in my ears. I could hear screams above us, claws, shouts, death. The door creaked open. A wolf stumbled in. His fur was soaked with blood. His body dropped lifeless at our feet. The smell of iron filled my nose. I wanted to scream, but my mother's hand clamped over my mouth. Then my father entered. His face was lined with fear and grief. He looked at us one by one as if memorizing us. And behind him, Damien. He was young, only 17, but his eyes were not human. They were sharp, cold, empty. Blood stained his clothes, his claws dripped red. He looked like death itself. My father trembled. "How are you still alive?" His voice cracked. He stumbled back a step. Damien whispered, though my lips barely moved. "Why did you do it? My father trusted you. Why betray my pack?" He just walked forward, slow, steady. My mother pressed harder on my mouth, forcing me into silence. I could not cry. I could not move. I could only watch. My father's voice shook again. You should not be alive. I should have buried you 6 feet under like I did your father." Damien's face twisted. His eyes flared with rage. His claws dug deep into my father's chest. Blood sprayed. My father gasped. His mouth opened in shock. I screamed inside myself. My throat burned, but no sound came out. My mother held me down. Tears spilled hot down my cheeks, soaking her hand. Damien ripped my father's heart from his chest. Just like that. He howled as he dropped the body. His cries shook the walls. Then he collapsed in tears himself before walking out, leaving us broken. I broke free then. I ran to my father's body. His eyes were still open, staring at nothing. His hand was limp. His chest was hollow. I shook him. Father, wake up!" I cried. My little hands slapped his face. My tears poured. My voice cracked until it hurt. "Please don't leave me." My siblings cried with me. Their sobs filled the shelter. We clung to each other like broken dolls. Then my mother stood. Her face was pale but hard. "Stay with him," she said. Her fists clenched. Her eyes were sharp. "Mother, no," I clinging to her robe. "Don't go. Please stay." But she tore herself from me and walked out. Her scream came minutes later. A sound so sharp it split my soul. Then silence. I pressed my hands to my ears. I screamed back, but no one heard me. Smoke filled the air. The fire spread. My sister pulled me, shouting, "We have to go." Her voice shook, but her hands were strong. She shoved me toward a window. She pushed me out into the cold night. She tried to follow, but a burning beam fell on her. It crushed her shoulder. "No," I screamed, reaching for her. She pushed me back with her free hand. "Run, Marcus," she cried. "Run! Live for us! Avenge us!" I shook my head violently. Tears blinded me. "No, I can't leave you. Please." "Go," she screamed again. Then the fire swallowed her. Her face was the last thing I saw. Her voice was the last thing I heard. I stumbled into the street. Smoke filled my lungs. My chest heaved. My legs trembled. I begged strangers for help. "Please, my sister is in there. Please save her." But they pushed me aside. "Go away, boy," they snapped. "Don't touch me." They spat at me. They looked at me like I was trash. I curled up in the dirt. I screamed until my voice broke. I cried until my eyes swelled. I was alone. Alone in the world. Back in the hall, I blinked. Tears clung to my lashes. My chest rose and fell too fast. My fists shook. I wiped my face with the back of my hand. The tears smeared, but they didn't stop. I hated that Andrew saw them. I hated that anyone saw me broken. But I couldn't hold it in. Not tonight. I looked at him with eyes that still burned. "Do you understand now?" I whispered. My voice cracked. "Do you see why I can't forgive? Why I can't stop?" Andrew said nothing. His face was pale. He looked at me as if I was both human and monster. "I lost everything," I shouted. My voice echoed. "My father, my mother, my sister, my home, my childhood. Damien took it all. He ripped it from me like it was nothing, and he walked away." My fist slammed into the table. Wood cracked. My knuckles bled. "I will not forgive," I whispered. My voice dropped low. "I will not forget. I will not stop until he feels what I felt, until he knows what it means to lose everything." My chest shook. My breath was heavy. The boy inside me cried. The man I was now burned with rage. I stood tall. My tears dried on my face, leaving lines like scars. My eyes were red but hard. "I will destroy him," I said. Each word was slow. Each word was final. "And I will destroy everyone he loves, piece by piece, until he begs for death." I turned my gaze to the window. Outside, the storm raged. Thunder roared. Rain pounded the earth. The storm matched me. Broken, loud, furious. I wiped the last tear from my cheek. My jaw tightened. My heart was stone again. "I won't stop," I whispered. Not until Damien's world burns like mine did. Ava's POV. Walking through the hallway felt like an endless journey. I searched through every corner of the mansion. My feet was beginning to hurt badly, yet Michael was still nowhere to be found. Where could he have gone? I whispered under my breath, hugging my arms to myself. "I'm not leaving here without Michael. I can't." I searched every places I could possibly think of, but it was as though he had just vanished into thin air. In the few months I had no Michael, he wasn't one to disappear without a trace unless something terrible had happened to him. My chest felt heavy. I was getting worried and scared. Then, out of the shadows, I saw Marcus walking in. His presence was always sharp, like a blade sliding across glass. My heart jumped with a strange mix of relief and unease. I rushed to him, breathless. "Marcus, have you seen Michael? I've been looking everywhere. He's not in his room. He's not anywhere I searched." Marcus's face froze into a mask of cluelessness. Too perfect, too careful. He tilted his head. "I haven't. But maybe you should ask the Alpha. He's always aware of where everyone is in his pack." My face fell. My throat tightened. I can't." He raised his brows, feigning curiosity. "Why not? You and the Alpha have been getting along, haven't you?" His voice was low, almost teasing. Then he leaned closer, his lips brushing near my ear as if he owned the right to speak so close. "In fact, he holds you very dear, Ava. Did you know? He even went so far as to plan a surprise for you, at the beach." His words sliced through me. My body froze. My expression sank, the weight of sorrow pressing harder against me. He was wrong. Damien didn't plan that surprise to please me. He planned it to kill me. "You must be mistaken," I said softly, shaking my head. My voice cracked, betraying the ache in me. "If you see Michael, tell him I'm looking for him." I bowed slightly, holding myself together, and turned away. I didn't see his smile vanish behind me. I didn't see the anger that twisted in his jaw as his fists clenched. But I felt something dangerous in the air. Something cold. Damien's POV. The glow of my laptop lit up my office. Numbers, letters, endless reports. All just noise. I stared at the screen, trying to force myself into focus. Trying to look like the Alpha everyone expected me to be. My back was straight, my jaw set, my clothes crisp. On the outside I looked whole, strong. But inside I was anything but strong. Her face haunted me. Every word, every look, every moment we had shared, it all pulled at me like chains I couldn't break. And still she didn't see me. Not the way I wanted, not the way I saw her. The door opened. Marcus walked in. His steps were too calm, too calculated. He studied me with that quiet, clever gaze of his before he spoke. "Alpha," he said smoothly, "I just saw Ava. She looked sad. Lost. I thought you were going to make her forget it all. She remembers everything." I didn't answer. My hands moved over the laptop keys. I tried not to let in anything that would remind me of her. But he didn't stop. He pressed harder. The regnant stone. Its next strike of pain might be severe. She could die. Something in me snapped. I rose to my feet so quickly the chair slammed back into the wall. "Don't speak of the stone." My voice cracked the air. "It doesn't matter. Ava never loved me. She never wanted me. All she ever wanted was him, her fiancé." I could hardly breathe the last word. It tasted like poison. I shoved past Marcus and slammed the door behind me, the sound echoing through the hall like thunder. "The regnant stone can't kill a lover who doesn't share my heart," I whispered quietly. Ava's POV. After hours of searching, I finally thought of an easier solution. I pushed open the door to the security room. My hands shook as I gripped the edges of the desk, demanding the guards replay the footage. My eyes darted to the screen, my heart pounding as the images flickered. There, Michael, hiding himself in the Alpha's car boot. My stomach twisted. Why would he do that? Why follow Damien? Why hadn't he come back? If Damien had gone to Andrew's pack, then Michael must be there too. My chest tightened. My voice trembled as I whispered to myself, "I have to see Andrew. I have to know what happened." I spun around, determination pushing me forward, but as I turned, I froze. Damien stood behind me. So close, so silent. His eyes were dark, colder than I had ever seen. They cut into me, sharp as daggers. "You just can't wait, can you?" His voice was low, dangerous. "Can't wait to be in the arms of your lover." My breath caught. My blood rushed hot and fast. I rolled my eyes, forcing a hiss past my lips. I tried to walk past him, but his hand shot out like iron, pulling me against him. His grip was unbreakable. His arm locked around my waist, pulling me flush against his chest. My heart hammered so hard I thought it might break through my ribs. The guards in the room shifted uncomfortably. One of them cleared his throat, but another shot him a warning look. Then, slowly, they slipped out, leaving us alone. The door shut. Silence pressed in. I pushed against him, struggling. "Let go of me, Damien." But his hold only tightened. His voice was raw, trembling with anger and something deeper. "You're so impatient. Do you love him that much? After everything I've done, after everything I risked, you can't wait to run back to him?" Rage flared in me. I shoved him back with all the strength I had. My chest heaved. My voice cracked with fury. "Andrew is my fiancé," I shouted. "He's the one I will marry, the one I will spend the rest of my life with, alongside my child. So stay away from us, Damien. Stay off our trail." He clenched his jaw, tightened his fist. I could see the rage in his eyes. My heart raced at that moment. I feared for my life. The storm in his eyes wasn't just anger. It looked like the storm of a man breaking apart. I was breaking him, but I couldn't understand why. Suddenly, he grabbed my wrist tightly and then pinned me to wall. My back hit the cold surface. A tiny cry escaped my lips. He locked my body to his. His strength overpowered me. I was like a little, powerless kitty against him. "You're mistaken, Ava," he growled, his breath hot against my skin. "If you think I'll let you go that easily, I am territorial. And you are mine." I heard heartbeats. Was that mine or his, or both of us? I couldn't tell, but he was close, too close, and I felt like I would sink. His scent wrapped around me in ways I couldn't ignore. I felt his breath warm against my skin. His lips was too close to mine. That was the only thing I could focus on. The entire world felt silent. All I could think of was how close he was and how much I wanted to pull him closer, locking my lips on his, wrapping myself already him. I hated myself for feeling this way, but I just couldn't help it. I told myself to push him away, to scream, to fight, but my body betrayed me. Because even in my anger, even in my hurt, there was something gnawing deep inside me. A pull I couldn't deny. A fire that burned no matter how hard I tried to smother it. My hands trembled, not from fear but from the urge to grab him, to pull him closer. His eyes searched mine, wild and desperate, as though he was waiting for me to admit it. To admit what was between us. We stood there, frozen, our breaths tangled. My chest rose and fell against his. His thumb brushed lightly against my wrist, a touch that made my skin shiver. I hated it. I hated him. And yet, my lips parted. My body leaned forward, just a fraction, before I caught myself. I clenched my fists, nails digging into my palms, fighting against the storm inside me. We stared at each other, caught between hate and something else. Something forbidden. Something dangerous. And for the first time, I feared not just Damien, but myself. The door slid open slowly. A guard stepped in. He froze when he saw us in that awkward position. His eyes widened. Without a word, he turned and left quickly. The door closed behind him with a soft click. I took a deep breath and pulled myself away from Damien. My back pressed against the wall. My chest felt tight. I tried to calm the heat in me. I sent him a sharp glare. He looked at me but did not move. I did not wait for him. I turned and walked toward the stairs. "Get ready," Damien's voice called out. It was low, full of anger and power. "The love of your life will be here soon." I froze mid-step. My heart jumped. I turned to him. My mind spun. Why did he bring Andrew here? What game was he playing this time? Damien did not answer. He walked away and disappeared. I was left alone in the quiet hall. My chest felt heavy. I had no idea what was coming. I went to my room. I changed into an outfit I had prepared. It was simple but elegant. It hid my trembling hands. It made me look calm. I looked at myself in the mirror. My eyes betrayed my nerves. I shook my head. I had to focus. I had to face Andrew. The stairs felt longer than usual as I went down. Damien was there. His eyes followed me. His presence made the air heavy. Heat and danger surrounded him. Andrew was there too. His eyes found me immediately. My heart beat fast. He smiled at me, gentle and calm. The smile made my stomach ache. I felt guilty and angry at the same time. We walked to the long dinner table. Both Damien and Andrew rose. They drew out chairs for me. My stomach twisted. I wanted to run. I hated tests like this. Every step felt like walking on broken glass. I hesitated. I stared at both men. Damien's eyes were dark and unreadable. Andrew's smile was warm and comforting. I felt torn. I chose to sit close to Andrew. He smiled at Damien. I saw the cold flicker in Damien's eyes. Andrew helped me sit. His hand brushed mine. A shiver ran through me. My chest tightened. My heart pounded. "How are you and the baby?" Andrew asked softly. "I hope you are taking care of yourself. I'm glad you agreed to see me." He took my hand and kissed the back of my palm. I froze. The warmth of him made me tremble. My face burned. I could feel Damien's eyes on me, sharp and dangerous. I pulled my hand away slowly. I wiped it on my dress. my face twisted in disgust. But I could not show Damien. I could not let him see me falter. Damien cleared his throat. My head snapped toward him. His presence was like a storm. "I have 2 good news for you, Andrew," he said. His voice was calm but powerful. The words made my chest tighten. I clenched my fists under the table. My heart raced. What could he mean? "First," Damien continued, "you have always wanted an alliance with our pack. Today I offer you an official alliance. I will protect your people as I protect mine. In times of need, I will be there. I will also give some properties to house your people. The location will be Rivers Villa." Andrew's eyes widened. His lips curved into a wide smile. "Oh, Alpha Damien, this is amazing. This alliance will help our people so much." I stared at Damien. My chest felt tight. I could not read his expression. I did not know what he was planning. My mind spun. Damien's voice broke the silence. "But there is one condition." The room went quiet. Andrew leaned forward, curiosity shining in his eyes. I could not look at Damien. My hands clenched in my lap. "You and your pack will move into Rivers Villa immediately," Damien said. Andrew's smile grew even wider. "That's wonderful. The villa is close to yours. We will see each other often. Such great unity." I felt uneasy. My chest tightened. Something in Damien's smirk made my stomach churn. I could not read his mind. Andrew's eyes narrowed slightly. "Why do you want our pack so close?" he asked cautiously. Damien's gaze locked on me. My whole body froze. His eyes were sharp, full of heat and control. "Because a certain person cannot bear to be apart from you," he said. Andrew blinked, confused. He did not press further. He seemed careful. My chest ached. My stomach twisted. My heart beat fast. I could not understand his words. "So what is the other good news?" Andrew asked, voice full of hope. My heart raced even faster. My hands shook. I could feel the fork in my hand. Damien's voice was steady, sharp, and cold. His eyes never left me for a second. "Ava and I will be getting married in 10 days. The words hit me like a hammer. My spoon fell from my hand. I wanted to disappear. My stomach turned. Andrew coughed, food catching in his throat. His eyes widened in shock. Damien's gaze stayed on me, hard, unyielding, full of power and triumph. My chest felt heavy. My head spun. 10 days. Married. The air grew thick. Tension pressed on my chest. Andrew's eyes moved between Damien and me. I saw shock, confusion, and disbelief in him. I could not move. I could not speak. My mind was a storm of emotions. Fear, anger, sorrow, and something else I did not want to feel. A fire burned deep inside me. Damien's hand rested on the table, silent but full of claim. My chest felt crushed. My head spun. My hands trembled in my lap. I looked up at Damien. His eyes glimmered with control. Every word, every glance, every movement was a weapon. I felt small under his gaze. I swallowed hard. My lips pressed into a thin line. My chest rose and fell rapidly. Andrews was speechless. Not like I expected him to fight against it or anything like that. I had always known Andrew was a coward who only shows his strength on weaker wolves. I looked at Damien, then at Andrew, then back at Damien. My body shook. My chest ached. My stomach twisted. I was confused. The bride wasn't even informed she would be getting married, but yet he already made the public announcement. I was so pissed. I wanted to leave immediately, but my legs just wouldn't move. Not when Damien's gaze held me prisoner. Not when Andrews looked at me like it was my idea. I sat frozen, trapped between 2 men. One, Andrew, the man I disliked but my only hope to save my child. The other, Damien, dangerous, intoxicating, impossible to resist, and the man I love with all my being. The room felt smaller. Every sound seemed louder, every breath heavier. My chest rose and fell fast. My heart raced uncontrollably. I clenched my fists under the table. My nails dug into my palms. I was grounding myself, keeping control. I would not let him see me weak. I looked at Damien. He smirked slightly, cold and sharp. The power he had over me was undeniable. My mind spun. My heart pounded so hard, threatening to fall. My stomach churned. My chest burned. Everything was chaos inside me. I could not move. I could not speak. I realized something terrible. My world had changed in one moment. What does this marriage mean? Is he doing this out of revenge, or is he doing this to keep me in his life forever? Would my child be safe in all this? I was trapped, confused, scared. Should I flee with Andrew, or stay as my alpha's one and only Luna? If I become his Luna, would my child be safe? I had so many questions I couldn't ask. The room was silent, my breaths loud in my ears. My hands shook, my chest hurt, my stomach twisted. And in that moment, I stood up abruptly, quietly walked out on both men, giving myself time to think. I wished he was marrying me because he loves me, but the look in his eyes earlier told me all Damien wanted was revenge. Revenge for the hurt I caused. I just knew saying yes would change my life forever. Damien's POV. The door slammed when Ava walked out. The sound stayed in my head. It was loud, it was sharp, it felt like she had slammed it against my chest. I stood still. I could still feel her anger in the room, the heat of it, the sharp smell of it. It clung to the air like smoke. Then Andrew turned to me. His face was hard. His voice was bitter. "What do you think you're doing, Damien?" he said. His eyes burned. "Ava is my fiancée. She is my soon-to-be Luna, and you dare come here with an alliance proposal in exchange for her? Do you think you can buy her like that? How could you stoop this low, huh?" His words cut deep, but I didn't show it. I kept my face calm. I let out a slow breath. "If you don't want my offer, fine, I'll take it back. But hear me well, Andrew. With or without this offer, I will marry Ava, and there is nothing you can do about it." I reached for the contract papers, but Andrew held them tight. His grip was like iron. "You're the kind of alpha who makes promises and takes them back within minutes," he said coldly. "I'll think about it. I'll give you my answer later. But one thing is sure. Ava will love only one man all her life, and that man is me. You may force her hand, but her heart will never be yours. You'll only live in the shadow of the man she truly loves." His words stabbed into me. My fists clenched until they shook. My heart roared inside me. But I did not let a single sound escape. He stormed out, his footsteps echoing down the hall. The silence he left behind felt heavy. I closed my eyes for a moment. Rage burned in me, but pain burned even stronger. Pain that grew sharper each time I saw Ava cry. I could not stop myself. I went to her room. I stood at her door, hand raised. For a long time I did not move. At last I knocked. Softly. She didn't answer. I turned the handle and entered. She was on the bed, her face in the sheets. She shook with sobs. The sight cut through me like a blade. But the moment she lifted her eyes and saw me, her sorrow turned to fire. She rushed at me. Her fists struck my chest again and again. Her voice was sharp and broken. "Who do you think you are?" she cried. "To arrange a marriage like that? To decide my life? Do you think I'm some toy you can buy and use whenever you like?" Her blows were not strong, but each one landed on my heart. I caught her wrists and held them still. My eyes darkened. Anger filled them. But so did something else, pain. "You're not a toy," I said in a low voice. "You'll be married into the strongest pack in the world. Do you hate that so much?" "Yes!" she screamed. The sound tore me open. Her tears fell harder. She shook her head. "It's my life, Damien. My choice. I get to choose who I will spend it with for the rest of my life, and I would never choose you. Never! If you force this marriage on me, then you will only have my dead body." Her words crushed me. My mind spun. My chest felt heavy. I moved without thought. I grabbed her by the neck and pressed her against the wall, not hard enough to hurt her, just enough to stop her from walking away. My face was close to hers. My voice shook. "You would rather die than marry me?" Her eyes blazed. Her face was firm. "Yes, I would rather die than let you force me into marriage." Her words hit me harder than any blow. My rage burst free. I grabbed the lamp on the table and hurled it against the wall. It shattered in pieces. The sound was loud and sharp. Ava screamed. Her body trembled. She stepped back as fear flashed in her eyes. I turned back to her. My hands shook as I placed them on her shoulders. My heart was tearing. My eyes burned with pain. "Do you love him that much?" My voice was raw. "Do you love Andrew so much that you would give up everything just to be with him?" Her lips trembled. Her fists clenched, but she spoke the word anyway. "Yes." The word was soft, but it was final. I let her go. My hands dropped. My chest felt empty. I stepped back slowly, one step, then another. My face showed no feeling, but inside me everything was breaking. I was breaking. "I brought you closer to him," I whispered. "That's what you wished for, remember? But now read my lips. I will make sure you two can never be together. That will be your punishment." I straightened my back. It's as if my voice turned cold. "We will be married in 10 days, and if you try to end your own life, I swear I will make the people you love suffer for it." Her eyes widened. "Michael," she breathed, her voice shaking. I turned toward the door. Her voice cracked like thunder behind me. "You have Michael. What did you do to him?" I paused, but I didn't look back. If I looked at her again, I would not be able to leave. "What is she talking about?" I whispered in my heart. It hurt to think she even think I'm capable of hurting my own people to force her into marriage. Without another word, I stepped out. I locked the door. Her fists slammed against it. "Don't you dare hurt Michael," she shouted. Her cries were sharp and heavy. "If anything happens to him, Damien, I swear I will never forgive you." Her words followed me down the hall. They stabbed me again and again. I walked forward, but every step was heavy. Marcus stood waiting, his face calm, his posture firm. "Michael has been missing for days," I said coldly. "Find him, bring him back, let Ava see him before the wedding." Marcus bowed his head. "Yes, Alpha." Just as I walked away, his jaw was tight. His eyes burned with something dark, hatred. But I did not notice. I turned away. I walked down the hall, into the dark. My heart was heavy, my soul torn apart. I had power, I had strength, I had armies, I had everything an Alpha could want, but I did not have her heart, and I knew I never would. Because it already belonged to Andrew. Michael's POV. The first thing I felt was pain. It was in my back. It was sharp. It made it hard to move. Then I felt the ropes. They were tight on my hands. They cut into my skin. They burned. I tried to pull free. The rope only dug in more. I opened my eyes. All I saw was darkness. The room was small and empty. The walls smelled bad like smoke and wet ground. The only light came from under the door. It was just a thin line. My chest rose and fell fast. I was scared. My heart beat loud. I could hear it in my ears. "Get me out of here," I shouted. My voice cracked. It sounded small inside the dark room. "Marcus, you traitor. The Alpha will deal with you. Ava will find me." My words bounced back at me, but there was no answer. The silence made me shout louder. "Ava will find me." My throat burned, but I kept shouting. "The Alpha will make you pay." Then the door banged open. The sound made me jump. Light from the hall rushed in. A man stepped inside. He was huge. His body was wide and tall. He filled the whole doorway. His belly protruded from his black t-shirt. A cigarette hung from his lips. He sucked on it, then spat it on the ground. Smoke filled the air. "Hey, kid," he said. His voice was rough. "You're making too much noise. Do you even know where you are right now? I should teach you a lesson." He walked closer. His boots hit the floor slowly, each step heavy like a hammer. My heart pounded faster. Before I could move, his hand shot forward. He grabbed my shirt and slapped me hard across the face. The slap rang in my ears. My head turned sharply to the side. My cheek stung. I gasped. My eyes turned red. Pain burned, but I didn't stop. My fear turned into anger. I sprang up like I had some strength to fight him, glaring at him sharply. "The Alpha will punish you," I shouted, my voice shaking but loud. "You ugly monster." The man's face twisted. His eyes turned dark. His lips curled into a snarl. "You stubborn son of a bitch," he growled. His voice dropped lower, colder. "I should really teach you to shut up." He lifted his hand again. I didn't think. I didn't wait. I moved fast, bending forward and biting his thigh. My teeth sank into his flesh hard. The man screamed, his voice high and ugly. "Ah, you little rat!" He kicked me with all his strength. His boot slammed into my stomach. The air rushed out of my lungs. I flew backwards and crashed into the edge of a table. Pain exploded in my back. A sharp cry tore from my mouth. My vision blurred. My body shook. The man wasn't finished. He came closer, his shadow swallowing me. His boot lifted, ready to kick me again. I covered my face with my hands. My body trembled. But before his foot touched me, the door slammed open again. The light blinded me for a second. A tall figure walked in. I blinked fast, my eyes struggling to focus. My vision was blurry at first, but got clearer as the figure approached me. Then I saw him. Marcus. He stood still, his face calm but hard. His eyes moved to the man. "What happened here?" His voice was soft but sharp enough to cut. The man stammered, fear in his voice. He was too loud. I was only trying to..." Marcus didn't let him finish. In one sudden move, Marcus's hand shot out. He grabbed the man by the neck, his fingers locked tight like iron. The man gasped, his hands clawing at Marcus's arm. "Did I not command you all not to hurt him?" Marcus's voice was cold. It echoed in the room. The man struggled, his legs kicking. But Marcus didn't move. With one strong motion, Marcus lifted him off the ground. The man's face turned red. His mouth opened, but no words came out. Marcus squeezed harder, then in a flash he threw him across the room, causing him to crash painfully. The man's back hit against the wall before he fell down. He groaned in pain. Marcus turned to look at the guards outside. His eyes was dark and furious. "He has an important role in my plans," Marcus said. His eyes glowed. "No one touches him without my permission." 2 guards rushed in. Marcus pointed at me. "Take him to another room. Treat his wounds. Watch him carefully." They obeyed quickly. I wanted to speak. I wanted to scream at Marcus, but my lips wouldn't move. My body was too weak. My eyes rolled back, and the world went dark again. When I woke up, everything was quiet. My head ached. My back burned. My hands felt free. The ropes were gone. I blinked and looked around. This was not the same room. The walls here were white but plain. A drip was fixed to my hand. I followed the tube with my eyes and saw the fluid dripping slowly. I lay still, breathing softly. My chest rose and fell, but inside my head Marcus's words played again and again. He has a very important role to play in my plans. A cold chill ran through me. I sat up slowly, ignoring the pain in my back. My hand shook as I pulled the drip out. Blood rose at the spot, but I didn't care. "I won't let Marcus use me," I whispered. My lips trembled. "Ava must be worried. What if he uses me to hurt her?" The thought made me shiver. Tears gathered in my eyes. I wiped them quickly. I stood up from the bed. My legs felt weak, like they might fail me, but I forced myself forward. I walked to the door. My hand turned the handle slowly, carefully. I opened it just a little. 2 guards stood outside. Big men with sharp eyes. Their arms were folded. I closed the door quietly. My heart pounded faster. I turned to the window. I pushed it open a little and looked outside. The air was cold. The building was very high. The ground looked far away. If I jumped, I would die. I stepped back, my breath coming fast. I began to pace. My bare feet touched the cold floor. My hands shook. I needed a way out. My mind ran in circles. Then I saw an empty bottle on the table. My hands picked it up. I held it tight, then threw it against the wall. The sound was loud. The glass shattered. The guards outside reacted quickly. The door burst open and they ran in. Their eyes scanned the room. But they didn't see me. I was behind the door. As they stepped further inside, I slid out quietly. My heart raced. I moved fast, pulling the door shut behind me and locking it from outside. The guards shouted loudly, banging the door. "Hey, you! Open up!" But I was already running. My feet slapped against the floor. My chest burned. My lungs screamed for air. Then the alarm rose. Voices shouted all around. "Search every corner!" He couldn't have gone far. Their boots echoed down the hall. The whole building shook with their movement. I turned a corner. My eyes darted around. Then I saw it. A large waste bin. I rushed to it, my body trembling. I bent low and crawled behind it. I grabbed some old cartons and covered myself. My breath came fast. My heart beat so hard I thought they would hear it. Voices came closer. "Check over there. No, he's not here." Their shadows passed. Their boots stomped past me. I didn't move. Sweat rolled down my face. My whole body shook. "Ava," I whispered, tears rolling down my cheeks. "Please find me." My voice broke. My lips trembled. Then I heard footsteps again. Slow, heavy, coming closer. My chest tightened, my throat closed. A shadow stretched over me. I curled into myself, pressing my head into my knees. I prayed they wouldn't see me. The footsteps stopped. Then I felt it. A hand touched my shoulder. I froze. My body went stiff. My heart beat louder, faster, like it wanted to break free. Slowly, I lifted my head. My eyes widened, but I didn't turn around. The hand squeezed gently. My breath caught. My lips trembled. Was this the end, or was this my chance to escape? I didn't know, but my heart prayed harder than ever. Michael's POV. The sound of the footsteps stopped. I froze. I felt a close presence from behind. Just then a hand touched my shoulders gently. My heart raced so fast I thought it would fall out. I turned back slowly. At first, I saw only a shoe. It was a polished black shoe, which seemed so familiar. My brain already guessed who it was, but I still wished I was wrong. Then my eyes lifted. It was Marcus. My blood turned cold. My knees felt weak. My body was drained. But my eyes still widened with fear. "Well?" Marcus's lips curled into a thin smile. "The hide and seek is over." His voice was soft but heavy like iron. My chest rose and fell fast. My mouth opened to shout, but my voice broke. "No! Let me go!" I screamed, my throat raw. "Ava will find me." I tried to run, but my body wouldn't even move. I was frozen, staring, trembling like my life was over. His shadow covered me fully as he bent and lifted me off the ground like I weighed less than a piece of paper. My fists hit his arm, weak and shaking. "Let me go," I cried louder. My eyes burned with tears. My voice cracked as I screamed for help. Somebody help me. But no one came. Only Marcus's hard breathing filled the room. "Since you have decided to be stubborn," his voice was calm but cold, "we will make sure you never try this again." He carried me back. I kicked and twisted. My nails scratched at his hands, but he didn't even flinch. His arms were like stone. We reached the bed. He dropped me hard. The metal frame rattled under my weight. Pain shot through my back. Before I could move, a chain clinked. A cold iron cuff snapped around my wrist, then another around my ankle. They were heavy and cold. They bit into my skin like teeth. Marcus locked it with a loud click. "Stay here," he said, his voice like a knife. "Stay quiet." Then he turned and walked to the door. I reached out. "Please, don't." But the door slammed shut. Silence filled the room. My chest rose and fell fast. My heart beat against my ribs. My hands shook. I pulled at the chains, but they didn't move. They only cut deeper into my skin. I curled up, hugging my knees. Tears ran down my cheeks. My voice broke as I whispered to myself, "Ava, please find me." I closed my eyes. The darkness behind my eyelids felt heavier than the room. My heart ached. Ava's POV. The room felt too small. The air was heavy. My hands shook. My stomach turned, but not from hunger. A knock came at the door. A maid stepped inside carrying a tray of food. "Madam," she said softly. The smell hit my nose. My stomach twisted again. "What is this?" I snapped, my voice sharp. The maid blinked, shocked. "It's your lunch, madam." "I hate this food," I screamed. "Are you trying to make me throw up?" I hit the tray. The plates rattled. Food spilled to the floor. The maids looked at each other, their faces pale. They had never seen me like this. I had never been this angry. The door slid open. Damien walked in. His tall frame filled the doorway. His eyes moved from the food on the floor to my face. The maids bent their heads. "Alpha?" "Clean it up. Leave us." His voice was calm but cold. They left quickly, leaving only silence between us. Damien stepped closer. He sat down beside me slowly, as if I might break. His hand reached for my hair. I turned my face away. "Do you really think locking me here will make me marry you?" My voice was low but hard. "I'll starve myself to death." Damien paused. His eyes dropped to my belly. "The baby needs food," he said softly. His voice was warm, almost pleading. I turned my eyes to him, my heart pounding. "Let me go, Damien," I said harshly. "I don't want to be here. I don't want to marry you. I hate seeing you look at me like that." His face fell. His shoulders slumped. Pain flickered across his eyes. Another maid entered quietly with a new tray of food. "I told you I don't want to eat," I shouted, my voice cracking. Damien raised his hand. The maid froze. He nodded for her to leave. She did. He took the plate himself and held it out to me. "Eat." His voice was soft but firm. I stared at the food, then at him. My voice dropped. "Where's Michael?" Damien's eyes darkened. He set the plate down. "If you don't eat to keep yourself and the baby healthy," he said slowly, "you might die before you both reconnect." My breath caught. Tears burned in my eyes. "I will hate you forever if you dare hurt him," I whispered. "Do you love him that much?" Damien asked. His voice was low, almost curious. "You're not even related." I gave a small, bitter smile. "You will never understand the bond I share with that boy," I said, "because you're too selfish to love anyone other than yourself." Damien's jaw tightened. "I will make sure Michael appears in front of you on our wedding day," he said at last. My eyes burned with rage. "You're keeping him hostage just to marry me." My voice rose. "I can't believe how wrong I was about you." "You can think whatever you want, Ava." His words were calm, but his eyes betrayed him. "You haven't eaten for 2 days now. Your health is at risk. Think of your child." I laughed, a sound that cracked halfway. My smile faded. "Wow, you sound so concerned for the child," I said, clapping slowly. "What a performance, Alpha Damien. You deserve an award." His eyes narrowed. "I care about you and the child, believe it or not." I pushed at his chest. My hands trembled. "You care about me and the child?" My voice broke. "And you tried to." I stopped, my breath heavy. "Tried to what, Ava?" His voice rose. "You disgust me, Damien," I whispered. He stared at me. His heart burned in his eyes. Then he stood up, anger flickering over his face. "For every meal you miss," he said slowly, "Michael will miss the same food. If you starve, he starves. After 2 days without food or water, I just hope the boy stays alive. My eyes widened. My whole body trembled. How dare you, I shouted. My voice cracked. Damien turned to leave. I grabbed the food and forced it into my mouth, tears running down my face. My hands shook. You're a monster, Damien, I whispered between bites. A monster. Damien didn't look back. He walked out and shut the door softly behind him. I kept eating. My tears dropped onto the plate. My heart burned with anger and pain. Damien's POV. The door closed behind me with a dull sound. I leaned my back against it, my hands clenched tight until my knuckles turned white. Inside, Ava was crying. Her voice echoed in my head. Ems, you're a monster. I closed my eyes. Pain burned in my chest. My heart felt like it was breaking into pieces. I can bear you hating me, Ava, I whispered to myself. But I can't bear seeing you hurt yourself like this. I pushed away from the door and walked down the hall. My boots hit the floor slowly. The walls felt too close. I entered my study. The air was cold. I stood in front of the window, staring at the dark trees outside. My hands shook. My eyes burned, but I didn't cry. I must find Michael as soon as possible, I whispered. The room felt heavier. I pulled off my jacket and dropped it on the chair. Marcus was already searching for him, but the case seemed more urgent. I need to find him myself. Ava's face flashed in my mind. Her tears, her shaking hands, the way she forced food into her mouth while crying. My heart twisted. I will bring him back to her, I said under my breath. At any cost. I clenched my fists tighter, my nails digging into my palms. I straightened my back and walked out of the room, shouting the do behind me. My eyes narrowing with cold determination. My pain turned into fire. I would not fail her. I would not fail him. Ava's POV. The night was quiet, but my heart wasn't. I saw by the window. My legs were curled together as I hugged my leg to my chest. My eyes was fixed on the moon that was shining so bright. It shone down on me like it wanted to comfort me. My heart was getting torn apart because even after everything that Damien had shown me, I still loved him so much and I hated myself for that. I felt drained, but my mind still couldn't stop replaying the fight we had. I have had so many dreams of what marriage with Damien would be like. I thought I would be the happiest wolf he asked me to be his wife. But why does it always have to be like this? Why do we have to the extreme? I remember his voice, his anger, the pain in his eyes when I shouted those words at him. If only we didn't end up like this. If only he didn't go after my child. I closed my eyes deeply, swallowing hard. My heart ached. I hated him, but I loved him more than anything. I didn't even know which one hurt the most. My throat burned as I tried to hold back the tears, but one slipped out anyway. Then another. I pressed my hand over my mouth so no one would hear me cry. I hated how weak I felt. I hated that after everything he did, my heart still longed for him. A soft knock came at the door. I wiped my face quickly, but I didn't answer. I wanted to be alone. The knock came again, slower this time. I didn't move. Then the door creaked open. Footsteps entered the room. I rolled my eyes. Who else could it be if not Damien? I told you I don't want to see. I turned fast but stopped. It wasn't him. It was Marcus. He stood by the door quietly, half of his face in the shadow, the other lit by the moonlight. His expression was calm, almost too calm. Marcus, I asked, frowning, what are you doing here? He bowed his head slightly. I came to ask for your help, he said softly. That made me confused. My help? For what? He looked up, his eyes full of fake concern. The Alpha? Damien, he's not himself anymore. He's hurting inside, Ava. He loves you, even if he doesn't know how to show it. He's drowning in guilt. I can't stand seeing him like that. I let out a sharp laugh. It came out bitter. You came here to talk about him? I said coldly. You must think I'm stupid, Marcus. If your Alpha really loves me, he wouldn't have kidnapped Michael to force me into marriage. From the beginning, Damien only cared about what he wanted. Marcus paused for a moment, pretending to think. What makes you so sure he has Michael? He asked carefully. I know he can be extreme, but hurting a child? I don't think he's capable of that. My anger boiled. He admitted it, I snapped. He told me himself. He said he did it to make me obey. Michael is just a child, Marcus. A child! My voice broke as I said it. And now he's bringing Andrew's crew into this mess. I don't even know what he's planning anymore. The Damien I thought I knew. He's gone. My fists shook as I spoke. My chest felt like it was burning. I stood up, walked closer to Marcus, and grabbed his hand. "Please," I said, my voice trembling. "Help me. I know you're loyal to him. I know you love your alpha. But there comes a time when loyalty becomes blindness. You have to see that he's wrong. Michael doesn't deserve this." Tears filled my eyes again. "I'll do anything. If you help me find Michael, I'll forget everything Damien has done. I'll try to love him again. I'll give him what he wants, but only if Michael is safe." Marcus looked at me, pretending to hesitate. His face looked torn, like he was fighting himself. "I've never gone against the alpha," he said quietly. "If he finds out I helped you, I'll be punished, or worse." "I'll protect you," I said quickly. "I swear it. I'll take the blame if he finds out. Just help me bring Michael back. Please." For a few seconds he didn't speak. Then he sighed and looked into my eyes. "All right," he said. "I'll help you. Not because I want to betray the alpha, but because I want him to be happy again. Maybe saving the boy will bring back the part of him that's lost." Relief washed over me. I nodded, holding his hand tighter. "Thank you," I whispered. "You don't know how much this means to me." He smiled, a gentle, innocent smile that made me believe him. "I'll start searching tomorrow," he said, bowing slightly. "Get some rest, Ava. You'll need your strength." Then he turned and walked toward the door. I watched him leave, feeling hope for the first time in days. The door closed softly behind him. I touched my chest, sighing in relief. Michael's safety might not be fully assured, but at least there was a flicker of hope. Instead of feeling extremely useful in a locked room, something told me Marcus would do his best to fix this. I sat back at the window, staring at the moon again. "Thank you so much, moon goddess," I whispered. "Please, just let Michael be safe." Marcus's POV. The moment I stepped out of the room, the fake smile on my face disappeared. I walked through the empty hallway, my boots echoing against the floor. The air was cold, but my chest burned with dark satisfaction. I stopped by the window, looking at the same moon Ava had been crying to. "She's even more desperate than I thought," I said quietly to myself. A small smile curved my lips. So soft, so easy to twist. For days I had been waiting for the right moment. Was too focused on making Damien make the mistake of killing the love of his life with his own hands that I forgot something important. Ava herself could do what he couldn't. "All this time I tried to make the alpha kill her," I whispered. "But maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's better to make her kill him." The thought thrilled me. "She loves him," I said softly, "but love and hate live close together. If I push her just right, if she believes Michael is dead because of him..." I smiled wider. "She'll do it. She'll stab him herself. I will make her do it." I chuckled under my breath. The sound bounced off the walls, sharp and cold. I could already picture it. Damien standing there, shocked and bleeding, looking into her tearful eyes. The heartbreak, the confusion, the pain, that would be the perfect ending for him. He had taken everything from me, my family, my home, my happiness. But now, I would make him have the worst end, through her. I walked toward my chamber, my steps slow and steady. My mind was alive with wicked ideas. I knew Michael's time was approaching. A cruel thought crossed my mind. I smiled again. This was just the beginning. The thought filled me with pleasure. I walked into the cellar where Michael was kept. The guards bowed when they saw me, and I nodded lightly, pretending calm. "Any changes?" I asked one of them. The guard shook his head. "He's still sleeping, sir." "Good," I said softly. "Keep him alive for now." I looked at the boy through the iron bars. His small frame lay still, his wrists chained. He was pale, his lips dry, but he was breathing. That was enough. I crouched down and stared at him. "You, little one," I whispered, "are the key to everything. You'll bring down the alpha without even knowing it." I straightened up and turned to leave. The moonlight caught the edge of my face as I smiled. I looked back one last time at the boy. "Sleep well, Michael. Tomorrow, the game begins." Then I walked away, my laughter echoing faintly through the dark hallway.